Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is Saturnine Chalice. It was written by Matthew Sanderson, and it's included in a collection called Deadlight and Other Dark Turns. I am the game master, and this is a one-shot. This will be the second time that we've run this scenario. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. All right. The three of you are professors from the Miskatonic, and you are heading to Ottawa for a conference. The conference is called, it's a conference on religious practices of early man. And you are all looking forward to this. The date is May 4th, 1926, I believe. And you are packing your things. You're all going to drive up there together. So are there any particular things you want to bring with you other than what you would normally? This is kind of almost a vacation.
Yeah, nothing other than my normal notes and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I don't see my character doing, my guy Jeffrey, Dr. Jeffrey Winters, taking anything extra.
Yeah.
All right. So who will be driving?
Not me.
Let's see.
I'll drive.
I'll drive, but I just have the, I'm a basic driver.
Joseph Higgins, our humanities professor.
Like all terrible drivers, I assure you all that I am a great driver.
Mm-hmm.
So I will drive with my base drive skill. But I'm really good, don't worry.
We all have base drive.
Yeah, we basically switch off all thinking we're all great drivers.
All right. So you leave not too early in the morning. You get your stuff together. By 10 o'clock, you're off. And you decide to take a more direct route going towards Ottawa, which means instead of using the main highways and heading up all the way up into, up towards Maine and then over into Toronto and working your way over towards Ottawa or Montreal and then working your way over, you're taking a lot of the more scenic back routes. And as you're driving along, the scenery becomes very lush. The trees become very thick, forested. You pass through some small towns that are intermittent along the way. And as the day wears on, you find yourself driving down a road that you're pretty sure will eventually connect back up with the main artery in Canada. When Professor Higgins looks down at the gauge on the car and realizes that you are riding on empty. And you haven't seen a village for at least 20 miles behind you. What do you do?
Well, I'm befuddled. I swore we had plenty of gas.
Well, perhaps we've got a leak.
No.
Yes. These are rough roads, and we're out in the wilderness.
Well, pull over here, Joseph, and we'll give it a look.
Pull over.
Just as you start to pull over, the car gives a sputter and another sputter, and you find the last few feet you're coasting to a stop, and the engine has turned itself off.
That's not good. I guess I'll get out of the. I was in the back, so I'll get out of the back seat and pop the hood.
Do you know anything about mechanical? You have a mechanical roll?
Let's have a look. I have 10, but I'll roll it.
Yeah, I'll join him and take a look.
All right, we're gonna stare at the engine. And
I
hopefully
got
find some
15. I got 15, but I'm not willing to spend the 5. I don't know what's. I mean, it's. Do I at least know if it's like steaming or if it like look like basic?
It doesn't
knowledge?
look like it doesn't look. I mean, it's hot, but it's not
Yeah.
steaming or anything. You
Where-
think you might just be completely out of gas.
It's just. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong. Not that I know much about engines, but I mean, I'll look under the car to see if there is a leak in the. If we are leaking fuel.
All right, do a spot hidden for me.
This I'm not bad at.
While he's doing that, I'm going to look back and forth. Have we anybody passed us or?
Pass on that, just a regular.
You don't see anything.
It doesn't
Nothing
seem like
seems to
we
be dripping.
don't have a drip or a leak or anything like that. So
Can we see the gas tank?
Yeah, I mean it's the tank on the side of the car.
And it is empty.
Well, I mean you can't look down the hole and see, but when you bang on it, yeah, it sounds like there's nothing in there.
There's nothing 20 miles behind us. Seems to me like we're probably going to have to walk forward. Is there a spare can in the trunk?
Well, do a luck roll on that one.
All right.
I'm assuming we would have brought a road map.
Yes.
19. So yeah, there does seem to be something in the trunk. Whether it's a spare tank or not is another question.
I'll pull our road map out, lay it out, and see if I can kind of work out where we might be and where the closest town or village or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you see the previous town, and it's a fairly long stretch that you were on that looks like it's going out in the middle of nowhere. It looks like it would eventually connect back up, like you thought, with the main highway. But you don't know how far along you are. None of you were really paying attention to the miles or anything like that. I'll say there's a little gas tank, a little gas can, a little metal 2-gallon gas can in the back. It is empty.
All right. Well, I say, well, at least we have this can here. Now, if we can only find a station.
Well, that's what I'm trying to ascertain from. I mean, this is the road we're on, but I don't know how far along the road we are and whether it's worth moving forward to find somewhere or going back to find somewhere.
Well, what was the last town that we passed?
Here, and I point on the map.
Do any of us remember what time we passed it?
Yeah, you guys were having some sort of little philosophical discussion, and one town looks very much like the other. So after a while, you just kind of zone out on them. But
is there anything?
Would have been quite a ways back.
Is there any towns in between that? Because we haven't passed anything. Is there anything that would be coming up?
You would be rejoining the main highway before you got to any towns, and you don't see any crossroads.
Well, it looks like we gotta go walk back.
Yeah, well, that's looking at the map. That seems like the best decision. At least we know there's a town back that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone do spot hiddens.
Oh, that's a big fail for me.
Fail.
25 is a hard success.
Okay. As you guys are sort of sitting there over the car arguing, Joseph, you sort of notice in between the trees, maybe half a mile ahead of you, it looks like there's a house or a building.
Oh,
wait, looks like a fairly large building.
Well, maybe we don't have to walk too far. I think I might see a building between those trees.
I'm assuming when he points it out, we can see it as well.
Yeah, it looks like looks like a nice place.
Do we see the smoke? Because it is May, so it would be chilly. Does it seem to have smoke coming out of
You're
its
not
stack?
you're not close enough to see that. You can just see there's something over there.
What time is it?
Right now it's about 3 p.m.
Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking, should one of us stay with the car?
No, why?
Well, I mean,
who's gonna take? I mean, there's nobody out here to take it. They can't drive it anywhere.
Oh, but all of our stuff inside it is what I'm meaning. But I mean,
what
history
and psychology books?
And who's out here to steal it?
That's true. We haven't had someone pass us for hours now. I mean, all right. Well, let's.
The only reason they have somebody to stay with the car is that they could flag down a passing motorist. But
yeah. But we haven't seen anyone as long as we've been driving. Exactly. So I say let's head to the house together then.
All right.
Sounds good.
I bring the can with me.
Okay. Yeah. So you start walking down the road, and as you are walking, and you're getting closer to it, you see that there is sort of a small side road that goes onto the property, and it actually looks like an estate of some sort. As you approach, there is a gate, and it's a big double gate, and it has a big W in the middle of it, and underneath is written Wayland, Weyland. And you can see it's not a huge house, but it's a 2-story house with some outbuildings around it. There are also some what look like semi-formal gardens that have been planted around it as well.
Does the name Wayland ring any bells to any of us?
Well, it's not an uncommon name. Wealthy Waylands, yeah, there's a few out there.
Maybe into timber or something. We are up in Canada.
Well, have we made it to Canada yet?
No, probably not. No. You're probably still on this side.
Still in the US. But we're definitely getting into that. Possible.
I mean, Vermont or New Hampshire.
Yeah.
As you go forward, and the gate's not locked, and you step through, you can see that the place may have had some better days, but it's not in disrepair. It's in fairly decent condition. A lot of the flower beds are just popping up with tulips and things like that, but they're not in full bloom. And some of the hedges look a little rough. They need some spring trimming.
Seems like it's well taken care of.
You can see off to either side, towards the left-hand side, you see there is what looks like a large garage. And towards the right-hand side, you can see it almost looks like a monument of some sort, like a mausoleum, a family mausoleum. This is more or less the layout here. And you're coming up from the south.
Oh,
okay.
Very proper place.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I would have thought there would just be a simple hunting lodge.
No, it's definitely an estate.
Yeah. Good catch with your eye, Professor Higgins.
Well, thank you.
And as you are coming up towards the house, this is what the house looks like. There's a moon out, but we'll just say.
That's still early, yeah.
It's still a little early for that.
I mean, this place is beautiful, but that lurking moon here worries me just a little.
Just a little bit.
I'll walk up to, I guess, what I assume would be the front porch, the front door.
Okay. So as you are walking up towards the front porch, everybody do a spot hidden.
That is a hard pass.
Yep, that's a hard pass here too.
A 66 is a standard pass.
Okay. Well, you'll all notice this, but as you are moving up towards it, you get the sudden feeling that you're being watched. And then you notice that there is someone in the window right near the door that is staring at you all out of the window. And the face is odd. It seems to be almost pale and strangely colored, and it's just staring at you, and it's not moving. It looks like this. And those of you who got hard passes suddenly realize it's a bust. It's a statue.
Oh.
Gave me a bit of a start then.
I'm probably being, the moron that's like waving at it.
Looks like a bust.
A bust.
Yes.
That would explain that would explain the pale features. I was a little worried there.
As was I, Jeffrey. As was I. Well,
Yeah.
I suppose we better knock and tell them our situation. So, go up and knock on the door.
Right. You knock on the door, and you hear a voice inside. Sounds like it's fairly close to the door, and it says, some of our guests must be arriving. Please, just let yourselves in.
I'll open the door and sorry to trouble you. We've broken down the road. We need some assistance.
Okay. Just inside the door, a few feet from the door itself, you see a gentleman dressed in a very nice suit, the kind of suit a servant would wear. And he's on a small step ladder, and there's a chandelier hanging in the foyer that he's reaching up to try to change one of the light bulbs in. This is what he looks like. He says, oh, please come in. Give me just a moment here. I want you once again all to do a spot hidden roll.
Ooh.
06. That's an extreme.
Regular.
Okay. You failed to sing? Okay. Dr. Jeffrey, you notice that as he's shifting his weight, that it looks like he's about to topple, that the ladder is a little rickety.
Oh dear. I'll kind of run in to brace the ladder for him so he doesn't fall.
And he's like, oh, thank you. You watch him for a moment as he's screwing the light bulb in, and all of the light bulbs are lit. But Professor Higgins, you notice that there are the chandelier seems to be damaged in a few spots. Maybe over the years it was damaged. But you can see some exposed wiring, and you're pretty sure that at least one or two of those wires going to the light bulbs is broken and frayed, and yet the light bulbs are on. He says, oh, thank you very much. That's done. And he climbs down from the ladder, and he introduces himself as Jeremiah Linwood. He says, well then, are you here for the party?
No. We were just passing by on the road here, and seem to have run out of gas. We were hoping.
You said there was you had some car problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, well, if there's something that we can do for you.
Do you have any spare gasoline for like a generator, perhaps, that we could use to get back into town for fuel?
You suddenly notice 3 other people. One is dressed as a maid, and she comes out and he says, "Oh, this is my wife, Rosemary." And a gentleman and a woman also join him. This is Mr. August Wayland. He is the owner of the house, and his daughter, Veronica.
The man looks a lot like the bust, so...
You can all do spot hidden rolls again.
All right.
Oh, 04.
Hard success.
The 64 is a regular success.
Mr. Wayland, August Wayland, he is in an extremely expensive suit, very well dressed, very well groomed. He looks like he's probably in his late 50s, early 60s, but he looks good. He looks good for his age. His daughter, she looks obviously a lot younger, maybe in her 30s. But those of you who had a really good spot hidden rolls, you notice that she has something in her hair, like dust or ashes or something, like she was standing underneath something and it rained a little dirt and dust onto her. Odd looking.
Is it just on her hair, on her clothes?
It's on her hair and on her shoulders. Yeah. Okay. No, well, and August Wayland says, well, then now what was this? You said you had car trouble. You needed gasoline. I believe that we had gasoline.
Yes, sir.
We have gasoline. Probably out in the garage with the car.
Excellent. We did bring a can.
Well, why don't you? Oh, that's good. Are you? Was there an accident? Are you hurt at all?
No. We're just fine. We just ran out of gas. That's all.
Right.
Yes.
Well, perhaps Jeremiah could take you out to the garage and see if we have any gasoline. Now, you're welcome to wait here if just one of you wants to go. But
since I have the can, I'm more than willing to go, gentlemen. And you can have a discussion with these fine people.
Fine with me. I don't have a problem with that.
Well,
all right.
Thank you, Winters, and thank you so much for your help.
Of course.
Yes.
Jeremiah says, "Please, sir, come this way."
Oh, certainly.
He points to the front door, which you're standing right next to.
So I'll step out and let him get by, and I'll follow him.
Okay. So you open up the door, and he goes out, and you and he start heading over towards that garage that you saw. All right. The other two, Mr. Wayland says, "Please, make yourselves at home. Here is the lounge, which is the room right next to the door with the statue in it. There is a piano. There is some lovely paintings on the wall, 5 paintings. You can see that the main painting in the center over the fireplace is Veronica. I'm sorry. It's another woman that you don't recognize. And then in one of the side pictures, you see Mr. Wayland and the same woman. And then you see a picture of Mr. Wayland holding a baby, which looks like a baby girl, probably the daughter.
Right.
And the pictures look like family pictures.
Have they come in with us to the?
Well, yes, they've stepped in with you. Please, make yourselves at home. We're having a little party tonight. We do this once a year or so, and I mean, if they find gasoline, you can be on your way. Otherwise, if you'd like to stay, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, we wouldn't want to be a hindrance on your. Sorry, we disturbed you at this time.
Well,
my name is Professor Milo Garadix. This is my associate, Professor Joseph Higgins. We're
nice to meet
both
you.
from the Miskatonic University in Arkham.
Ah, Miskatonic. Veronica went there.
Oh, what did you study?
And she says, well, I studied philosophy and the esoteric sciences, the occult.
Occult metaphysics.
And Wayland says, yes, I'm also a student of the occult. Just, it's interesting stuff.
Oh, how very interesting. I work closely with those departments in the humanities.
Now,
as do I. Yeah. With the history, I do some as well.
If you wouldn't mind, we were in the process of getting ready. Please make yourselves at home. Rosemary, he calls the maid, and she comes in. He says, please get these gentlemen something to drink. We'll rejoin you after a bit. Veronica? And the two of them leave. And he says, please make yourselves at home. We have a library. There's a kitchen if you're hungry. And there's also a restroom, both downstairs and upstairs. Please just stay out of our private rooms. Of course. Make yourselves at home. And he and she walk off, and you can see they go down the hall and up the stairs.
Well, sure, pretty close.
I'd like you all to do a spot hidden as you're here for a few moments.
Wow, 03.
I also got an 03.
Hey, look at
that. Okay, you all passed. Okay, I'll get to that in just a second. So Rosemary says, what would you gentlemen like to drink? Coffee, tea, water?
Tea sounds delightful.
Coffee would be fine for me, thank you.
And you, sir?
Jeffrey's
remember
out.
Jeffrey's out with the gas tank.
Oh, that's right, you're out with it. Okay.
That's why I muted myself.
All right. She says, excellent, I'll be back in a few moments. And she leaves you, so you're all alone in the room. What you see, based on your thing, is the room is lovely. The furniture is elegant. The piano is a beautiful piano. It's a nice, warm room. The fire is burning. And the bust on that pedestal over there is looking out the window and not facing into the room, which
very
is
peculiar for a bust. Very kind of odd home decor. You definitely think that it would be not next to the window.
Well, even if it was, you'd expect it to be facing in towards the room, wouldn't you?
I'm not really sure how much the light constantly hitting that bust will do to it over time.
Could I do an appraise on the bust, like do a bit more of an inspection on it?
Sure.
What's this?
That is going to be a fail.
Okay. Well, even so, what exactly do you do to appraise it?
I'll probably go over and I probably won't touch it just because I don't want to damage anything here. But I'll try and have a good close look at the maybe the actual material. Trying to ascertain kind of maybe through coloring how old it might be and whether it looks like real marble or whatever the make of it is. And
well, the reason why you can't really appraise it is when you get a closer look at it, you realize that it has been painted, and it's been painted white.
How odd.
And of course, you can't really get a good look at the face because it's facing the wrong direction. It's facing out the window.
And you say it's painted?
It's painted. Yes. It's very obviously painted white.
Very, very so interesting. I mean, I'm keeping my voice low because I don't want to be insulting people in their own home. But who paints a bust?
I agree. I mean, if it is marble, like I can't even tell. But if it is, you wouldn't.
Well, it wouldn't be the only thing that's degraded in this house. That chandelier's wiring is a mess.
But did you see Wayland? His clothes were expensive threads.
Yes,
Professor.
I mean this whole place. I mean, it's very nice. These paintings are lovely. These photographs are lovely.
Yeah.
It's all, but I don't know. This painted bust, the wiring on the chandeliers are just these little. I don't know. It's fascinating. These people are fascinating. I'm interested to hear what their what occult matters they've been digging into.
Higgins, I also I think I'm quite intrigued. How do you think when Jeffrey gets back here, why don't we make the suggestion that we've been offered to stick around for the party? I'm quite intrigued by them and this party and things. I mean, we're making pretty good time.
We'll think about it. I would love to take a peek at the library. Care to join me?
Yes. Oh yes. Let's go have a look at the library.
All right. So while you guys leave that room, you can see that you're just going to go down the hall one door, and then there's a library. There is also a staircase. There is a staircase. So you've got the door into the lounge that you went to. Then a few more feet down the hallway, there's the stairs going upstairs. A couple more feet, you can see that there is a basement door underneath the stairs. And then once again on the very end, when you get there, you can see that there is or a doorway going into the library. There's also a doorway on your right going into a dining room. And it's a very big dining room. Looks like you can seat easily 20 people.
Wow.
Around the table.
And is it all set up in the dining room?
Yes, everything is set up very formally. And there's a big fireplace that's also lit there. We'll get to the library in a second. All right. So Dr. Jeffrey Winters, you follow Jeremiah out to the garage. And when you get there, there is a stunningly beautiful Silver Cloud Rolls Royce.
Oh, that is a classic.
It is. Actually, it's not too much of a classic at this point. But it is incredibly gorgeous. Obviously imported from Europe. And he says, well, let's see. You notice over to the side there is a large, what looks like maybe a 5-gallon thing of gasoline. And he goes, well, let's see if we get lucky. And he walks over to it and picks it up, and he's like, I'm not sure, sir. I don't think that there's much inside, if anything at all. He unscrews the top and looks inside. And he's like, I'm afraid it's empty. We just don't use the car that often. We don't go into town very often. We have groceries and things delivered. Perhaps we could drain.
Siphon the. If you have a hose, I can try to do the old.
The Silver Cloud Rolls Royce actually has a valve on the bottom that you can just open and allow the gasoline to drain out, for the winter and things like that. So perhaps we'll be able to get some that way. Right. However, my back is not what it used to. If you could,
sure.
And he points to where it is.
All right, I open the can. Position the can near the valve, and I will carefully open it up because nothing bad's going to happen.
Right. So I would like you to do a spot hidden roll.
All right. Regular success.
Okay. You are undoing the valve, and as you get to the end, you get a couple of drops that seem to drop off, and you can smell the smell of gasoline, but the car seems to be empty. And it's at that moment, as you're down there, that you realize that someone is standing on the other side of the car, that they have bare feet and what looks like the bottom hem of a dress that's all torn and damaged, and the skin on their feet looks almost blue-green.
All right. I quickly jump up, probably thunk my head, because, a bit startled. And I
look, there's no one there.
Sorry there.
Are you all right, sir?
I think I got overcome by the fumes a bit. Thought I saw something over that way, but I must have been mistaken. Unfortunately, it seems that your gas tank is also empty.
I'm very sorry, sir. Well, we do have a telephone.
Excellent.
I would assume that you would be able to order it from the same people that we get our groceries from.
Oh, that would be excellent. Yes.
Well,
and that we can do that then.
Let's go back inside. The phone's ringing now. I can hear it.
Yes.
Strange chirping phone that we have.
Yes, it is.
Somebody answer the fucking phone. It's not my phone.
It's my phone, unfortunately. I'm the only one that... All right.
So you start walking back. I would like you to do another spot hidden.
Why, certainly. Yep, regular success.
So from where you are, as you had walked up onto the property, you could see the garage was over to the left, and you could see this in the picture that I showed you, but now you can actually see that it looks like there is a well directly behind the house. You think for a moment in the shadows as the sun is finally getting down towards the tops of the trees, you think you see somebody standing over there. It looks at first like a woman dressed in white, except that the clothes are just sort of falling off of her. And you're pretty sure she's barefoot.
Oh, maybe that's the woman I saw earlier. Maybe it wasn't a vision. I go, and out of curiosity, who's that over there near the well?
Over by the well, and he looks over, and he says, I don't see anybody, and you don't either now.
Oh, that was odd. I thought I saw a woman in a barefoot woman in a tattered dress.
Barefoot woman in a tattered dress.
It could still be, I did get a lot of fumes from that gas tank.
So let's get you inside and get you to that phone so that you can call.
All right. I leave the can, because I'm not going to bring it empty gas. I'll set the can just outside the door, out of the way of people walking in, and I'll come in. Well, gentlemen, it doesn't look like they don't have any gas right now, but the man here told me that we could use the phone to call in gas like they get their groceries.
Right. They've moved on to the library.
Oh, okay.
So,
but
you say that as you're walking in the door,
yeah,
so they can hear you down the hall saying that.
You want me to make?
Yes, please do.
All right, I will join these. I said, why don't you show me where the phone is, and why don't you give them a ring and see if they can bring about, maybe 5 gallons of gas.
The phone is actually on a little table right next to the door going down to the basement on the side of the stairs. So it's there in the hallway all the time.
All
and
right.
it's one of those pretty little phones, you pick up it's got the funny little thing. He says, of course, let me ring them. And he rings, it's Harmon's grocery store, which he tells you is in the last town that you guys were in, about 20 miles back. And he says, are you on your way with your delivery yet, or can we add something to it? Fine. We would like to add, what did you say, 5 gallons?
Right.
They have 2-gallon tins. Is it okay?
We'll take 2 of those then, if they could.
Right. Yes, please add those to the order and bring those out. Thank you. He says they should be here around 6.
Oh, I appreciate your help. It's fortunate that they hadn't come yet with their order yet.
Of course. Please, your friends I see are in the library.
Oh, yes, thank you. And I head over to the library. Any good, interesting reads?
All right. Inside the library, you have floor-to-ceiling mahogany bookcases. They're beautiful. They have an extensive and very expensive-looking book collection. Most of them are leather-bound. The main topics seem to be the occult, theology, history, and philosophy. There's a few of the books that lay on the central reading table, and there are comfortable chairs all around. There is also a book stand that sets in the over towards one of the windows, and it has a large eagle on the front of it, and there is a book sitting on that. And I would like you to do spot hiddens as you look at it.
47.
Regular.
I'm too entranced by the huge library.
Regular success.
Okay. So those of you who succeeded, this is what it looks like.
Like a symbol on its chest.
Yes, you do notice that there seems to be something carved into it, but it doesn't look like it's actually was originally part of it.
Yes, gentlemen, they didn't, as they're looking around, I mentioned, I was able to make that phone call, gentlemen. Was able to put an order in for 2 tins of gas, which give us 4 gallons.
Excellent.
I thought I saw something in the garage and in the yard, some barefoot woman in a tattered dress. I chalk it up to the fumes, Unfortunately, there was no gas, but lots of fumes.
Well, let's ask that maid to get you something to drink.
She's bringing us some tea and coffee.
Oh, excellent.
She shows up immediately, and she says, I brought you a variety to choose from, sir.
Oh, thank you. And I'll take whatever is convenient, whether it's the tea or the coffee.
Could I have a closer look at the symbol on the chest of the eagle?
Yes, you can. And I would like you to do an occult roll.
I can do that. Oh, yeah, 18. That's going to be a hard pass.
Okay. Something about it seems very familiar. You start to think for a moment, and you start to remember your Aleister Crowley, and some of the stuff from the Golden Dawn. that you've read through, and you realize that what this thing is Kamiya. And the way a Kamiya works, it all has to do with magic squares. If you've ever seen a magic square, magic square is a square containing the numbers 1 through 9, and they always add up to the same number in all directions. And that each one of them is associated with a certain element. And in this case, you can see that where it's been scratched off, it's kind of a blue-gray metal underneath, which you would think would be lead. And lead is associated with Saturn. So a Kamiya, and some of the other of you guys know this too from your occult studies. It looks something like this. So that is the Kamiya of Saturn. And the way you create a sigil is you create these lines, okay? The lines start with a circle and they pass through the squares. And as they do, they correspond to the letters of the alphabet. So in this case, this Kamiya starts with W because it's a 5. And then it's secondary, it's also a 5. So that's the letter E. And then the last letter is a 2, which turns out to be 2. So this would be wet.
Interesting.
Okay. So by that reckoning, the Kamiya that you're looking at, which is the one that's on the eagle, would be this. So get out your pen and paper and see if you can figure out what it says.
All right, so 7 is a Y. Gentlemen, come look at this. This is Higgins. You'll recognize this. It's Kamiya.
Oh,
Saturn, I believe.
Any guesses?
Not yet.
But not with so many letters.
It's actually fairly easy to work it out logically.
So that's...
If the first letter is a 7, then it's either G, P, or Y.
Right. And then I'm assuming the last square, there's a blank on the 9. So that's a space?
That's because, yeah, it's 799165.
Okay.
Is it prison?
Prison, correct.
Ah, nice.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Ah, right. Yes, yep.
Yep. Excellent job, Joseph. Excellent. That's why you keep on winning the puzzle guests that we have at our little
quiz night.
Yeah.
You do the crosswords.
What a strange thing to carve into that. But I mean, but also to do it with such a puzzle seems quite odd. So we've got this and we've got the painted bust.
Not only that, but they kind of nicked it, so that kind of it takes away from the artwork of the eagle, with the lead exposed there, or metal.
Is there a book on the actual pedestal?
It looks like there is a torn out piece of paper, maybe pulled out of a book.
I'll pick up the piece of paper.
Okay. You don't need any kind of a roll to read this. Seems like it's a piece from the Bible. Why don't you read that?
Genesis chapter 3:22. And the Lord God said, "Behold, the man has become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest be put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. 23, therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. 24, so he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim, and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
That's, I mean, nothing strange about that. It's the Bible.
Right.
But why is it torn out? That seems quite to deface a Bible. Is there a Bible around? Can you gentlemen see a Bible?
As you look around, you can see that on the table itself there is a Bible. In fact, you notice there are 2 or 3 other Bibles in here. Different versions. King James is there, but you also notice like a large Greek Septuagint, and in addition, you also notice the Quran, and you notice a printed version of the Talmud. So they seem to be all religious. I mean, at least a large portion of religious texts.
They have a great great theologians. They've got quite the collection of religious texts.
Well, that would make sense if they study the occult.
Well, they said they did. The daughter attends Miskatonic, and he
graduated, I believe.
And he said he was a student of the occult as well.
Yes, this is a very interesting choice. This just excerpt from Genesis about the casting out of Adam and Eve.
And the guardian of the tree.
Yes, the guardian of the tree of life, so they don't consume the fruit and spend all eternity in damnation. It's very interesting with this association with the prison here. I wonder if there are other such things in the house, like that bust. I wonder if it also has a cherub with it.
What do you mean by the bust? What's so strange about the bust?
It's it's painted, for one thing. It's
really?
Kind of, yeah. But I mean, they've carved the symbol into the into this lectern, into this eagle. I'm curious what other things they have. Very fascinating people.
I mean, the library is quite nice.
Do I recognize? I'm trying to think what version of the Bible this came from.
Looks like it might have been from a King James.
From a King James, okay. And do they have multiple copies of the King James?
Yeah.
Okay. It won't be simple to figure out which one what
size and stuff.
I'll go grab them off the shelves just because I'm curious. I want to find the one where if they've removed the page from one.
Yeah.
And see if they've removed any others.
What you find is that the ones that are in the shelves still, they seem to be fine and intact. Okay. The one that was on the table, though, seems to be the one that it was torn out of.
Okay, so I'll take one that hasn't been, or they haven't been removing pages.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have a pristine copy, and then this one where this the first this excerpt from Genesis was taken, and I'll see if they've removed any other pages, and if they have, I'll use the pristine copy to figure out what it was.
Okay. Do a spot hidden.
Well, the dice don't like my cool idea. But I'll spend 7 luck. I want to.
No, don't spend any luck. There are no other pages.
There are no other pages.
Screwing with you.
All right.
So it's just that one page then?
Yeah, just the one page.
You said there were some occult books on the table as well. Is that correct, Tom?
Yes. Things that you're familiar with. Nothing really that interesting. And there's definitely some books that are missing from the library.
Yeah. Ones that they're obviously possibly taken to their quarters to read.
Yeah,
which is fair enough. Well, let's go have a closer look at that bust then, Joseph, and possibly see if we can see another marking or something along.
Yes,
it's like a treasure hunt.
Yes. Maybe we should check out the library too. These bookshelves, they might be inscribed with one of these as well.
Oh, you mean see if the bookshelves have got any of the markings?
Yeah, the wooden markings. It's a mahogany.
Well, it's a pretty big library here.
Let's check. Well, why don't we go to the bust first? Since I'm intrigued by this, they would paint it. That seems almost like a desecration.
All right. So you return back down the hallway to the library. It's still the way you left it, and you're going to go over to the bust. What are you going to do? The bust is facing out the window.
Going to try and see if we can find any markings on it.
All right. Are you going to move it or do anything? Is there any reason why
when you say
wouldn't?
it's up against the window?
We would turn it to try to get a better look at the front.
All right.
Mr. Keeper, who keeps asking if we're touching the bust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No.
Mr. Player, who doesn't give me enough details in what they're doing. All right. Well, the first thing you immediately notice when you try and move the bust is that it is extremely heavy.
Is it lead?
You turn it around, and sure enough, in the bust, right underneath on the portion of it that looks like the tie, you see this.
Joseph.
Oh, yes, there's another one.
And it does look like it's been scratched through the paint, and it's definitely a blue black metal underneath. So it's lead.
That's why you paint it.
So,
hey,
shall we try again?
Is it obstacle?
Oops, obstacle. Yep.
I wasn't sure. I was like, did I?
All right. So as you are musing over that, you suddenly hear a knock down the hallway at the front door. Yes. And you see Jeremiah walk past the doorway, and he goes to the door and he opens it, and you hear a voice, Jeremiah. He says, "Oh, good evening, sir. I'm glad that you're here. Did you have a safe trip?" And he says, "Yes, I did." He says, I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. He says, "Please come inside, make yourself at home. We have a number of guests that are unexpected. They came because their car ran out of gasoline." "Oh?" He says, "Yes, they're in the library. They seem like very nice gentlemen. Please go right in." So this gentleman steps inside. He's rather handsome. He's tall. He has sort of a regal manner to him. He's dressed in a very expensive looking suit. Looks like this. And he's got a big smile on his face. He says, "Oh, hello. My name is Lester Goodman. How are all of you?"
Fine.
Yeah, excellent.
He's very eager. He comes around and starts shaking your hands. "Well,
good to meet you.
Are you Jeremiah said that you had car trouble?"
Yes, we're currently waiting for a delivery of gasoline, and we'll be out of your hair for your gathering tonight.
"Oh, well, that's a shame. You should stay. It's always nice to have new people."
Oh, we wouldn't want to impose on the guests.
You wouldn't be imposing. I'm sure that Wayland would love it.
What is the occasion?
Yes. Oh, well, we get together and discuss, occult, esoteric things that we've been researching over the years. And
maybe
I noticed a fine collection in the library.
Yeah, it's a very nice library, very, very well done. Mr. Wayland is a very gracious host, and his daughter is very nice. Says, and we all miss his wife, Evangeline. And he looks up at the big painting.
Oh, this is Evangeline?
This is Evangeline, yes. There's their marriage photo, and here's when they had Veronica. But unfortunately, she passed away during Veronica's birth. That's why the mom's not in the picture with the kid. Jeremiah and Rosemary raised her. And it was only later when she went to college that she began to develop her interest in the same thing her father did, the occult and stuff like that.
Yes, we understand she attended Miskatonic, where we all teach.
Yes. You're all teachers at Miskatonic. Excellent. Cigar?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Much. We all take the cigar.
And he moves over and he sits down in a big old Red Wing leather chair and lights his cigar. And he says, well, this should be a fun evening.
Where are you from?
I'm kind of a man about town. I'm all over the place. I love to travel.
Where have you been?
Where haven't I been? You could say I've been all over Europe. I've even traveled in the Far East. I've even been to Egypt.
Well traveled then.
I haven't been to Egypt in a long time, though. It's quite,
Was it for work or study?
Oh, mostly just for my own private interest. There's so many interesting things going on in the world, and I want to see them all.
That makes sense.
There's a knock at the front door. You hear it down the hallway. And you see once again Jeremiah step past the door, and he goes and he opens the door, and you hear, Jeremiah. And he says, oh, good evening, sir. I'm glad that you made it. How are you? And he's like, oh, I'm well. Did you have a nice, safe trip? And he says, yes. And he says, well, we have some extra guests tonight. They had a difficulty with their car. They're in the lounge right now. He says, oh, that's fantastic. I'll go meet them. And walking in the door is somebody who looks exactly like Lester Goodman. And he comes towards you and he goes, gentlemen, Lester Goodman, glad to meet you. And then he looks over at the other Lester and he goes, Lester, I didn't know you were here. Oh, yes. And they start walking towards each other and they shake each other's hands. He says, it's been so long. He says, please, this Lester introduces you to that Lester. And they both smile at you, and they seem to have identical mannerisms and everything. He says, cigar. And he takes the other cigar. And they both stand there next to each other smoking a cigar.
You are related then?
Related? Him and I? Well, not really, but sort of, I guess.
I mean, the resemblance is uncanny.
I don't see it. And then he sits down in the other wing chair and crosses his legs.
If you would excuse me, I need to go splash some water on my face. I'll be right back.
All right.
And I'm gonna go to one of the bathrooms that was first told to us.
All right.
I take a long draw from the cigar, just thinking about what I just heard and seeing their mannerisms being almost the same.
The second you step out of the room, Professor Milo, Jeremiah is there. And he's like, is everything all right, sir? Something I can do for you?
Yes. No, I just going to use the bathroom, if that's all right.
Oh, of course. He says, let me show you where it is.
Oh, thank you. Much obliged.
And he takes you down the hallway a ways, and there's a little door on the side. He says, you can use this.
Thank you so much. And I'll go in and I'll roll up my sleeves and splash some water on my face and just sort of kind of look up into the mirror, kind of
Do a spot hidden.
Okay. 05. It's going to be a extreme.
All right. So get some water. You splash your face with it. You look up into the mirror, and when you're blinking your eyes from the water, you look up, and the bathroom that you're in looks like it's damaged. It's the tiles are cracked. The paint is peeling off the door. You look down at the toilet and realize that it's got rust stains all over it. You look at the sink and there are rust stains, and the faucet that you just turned on is old and damaged, and part of the sink is a little cracked. And when you blink your eyes to get the rest of the water out, everything looks perfectly normal again.
Okay. I'm going to do a sanity check. Is that a...
Yeah, you can do a sanity check.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm starting to worry.
Meanwhile...
Yeah, I'm enjoying, as a psychologist, I'm watching these two with intense, academic curiosity to see how many mannerisms they have that are similar.
They seem to be almost self-entertaining. They tell each other jokes. They act like if they've never heard the jokes before. And it sounds like the same person talking twice. They look like identical twins is what they look like.
But what I'm looking at is their mannerisms. I'm like going, I'm having a harder and harder time believing these two are not twins.
Right. And they're almost, there are moments when they are almost in sync. They'll both suck on their cigar at the same time. They'll both tap the ash off at the same time. But they might be in different conversations with two different, you and Joseph.
And these are excellent cigars. Where did you get them from?
I prefer Cubans, and I believe you prefer whatever. I don't know cigars, so some other brand. And he says, "That's right, I do." He's like, "Well, hopefully the party will be getting started. Obviously, some of us are beginning to arrive." And he no sooner says that than you hear a knock on the door. And you see Jeremiah walk by and go to the door. And the door opens and you hear, "Jeremiah." He says, "Oh, good to see you, sir. Did you have a safe trip?" He says, "Yes, wonderful. Well, there are a number of new guests that had car trouble, and they've joined us. Why don't you join them in the library?" "Oh, wonderful."
The third Lester Goodman?
And coming around the corner is another Lester Goodman.
Lester Goodman, I'll say.
We've met?
Well, not exactly. I just
yes,
sensing a trend.
Yes, I am. Joseph
Higgins.
Mr. Higgins, very nice to meet you.
Jeffrey Winters.
Oh, Mr. Winters. Yeah. Oh, and I see Lester's here. And Lester's here. And they join one another and start laughing. And you guys can do sanity rolls.
Yes, we're both just going.
That's a pass.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I passed.
Right. Just take 1 point of sanity loss. It's just bizarre. And Professor Milo, did you pass or fail your sanity?
I passed.
Okay, just take 1 point of sanity damage for seeing that. What are you going to do now that you're leaving the bathroom?
I'll probably leave the bathroom and make my way back, but I'm not going to smoke the cigar or drink anything from now on. I'm possibly just gonna watch my surroundings a bit more and really try to focus my mind in on things and trying to ascertain what's real and what's not.
Okay. When you walk into the lounge, there are now 3 Lesters in there.
Milo, have you met Lester?
And Lester. And Lester.
And the two that are sitting there, they're like, oh, well, we met him, but Lester, you haven't met him. And
are they wearing the exact same thing as well?
Exact. And he shakes your hands, Lester Goodman. Now you can do another sanity roll.
Yeah. That one, it was a big fail.
Yeah, I think you can take 2 points of sanity damage for that one.
Joseph, I think this could be a very interesting evening, don't you?
Oh, quite. I'm looking forward to the discussion. I'm sure these fine, well-traveled gentlemen will have many stories to tell in their research of the occult. It will be like a preparation for our conference. Our upcoming conference.
I wonder if it will be an acapello.
Joseph, Jeffrey, how would you gentlemen feel about having a walk around the garden before dinner?
That sounds grand.
Yes. This room is getting a little bit thick.
Hazy with the Yes. We'll be right back. We're just going to go stretch our legs and get some fresh air.
And appearing at the door, just as you're about to step out into the hallway, is Jeremiah. Oh, gentlemen, is there anything I can get for you? Anything at all?
Nothing for me. Just getting some fresh air.
It's getting a little thick in the air in the library. We thought we could, freshen up, so get some fresh air in us.
Well, do be careful. Stay on the path. The light is starting to go. And there are a few flagstones that are a little loose. You don't want to trip.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Once we're outside with the others,
so you step outside.
I'll tell them about my my experience in the bathroom.
Okay. Before you do that, as you guys step out onto the porch, do an intelligence roll.
46, which for me is a regular pass.
Fail.
Yeah, I'm a little still preoccupied with the fact that we've met 3 Lester Goodmans.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Professor Milo, as you step out, by your reckoning, it should only be about 4:30 by now. But the sun is going down. The sun is behind the trees. And it looks, for May, it looks more like it's 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening.
Gentlemen. It's only probably around about, at the latest, 4:30. But look at our surroundings.
Wow, we really lost track of time.
Yeah.
So, as I said, we've got 3 of the exact same men in that room. I had my encounter in the bathroom with the whatever. I don't know what I saw there. Jeffrey, you said you saw a barefooted woman.
Yes. With bluish, greenish feet, bare feet. I saw her twice. Once in the garage, just her feet. When I looked up, she wasn't there.
Did you ever see her face?
No, I saw her from a distance near the well, but not well enough to be able to see her face.
I wonder if she's the mother.
I mean, let's not go believing in ghosts just because.
Right.
Well, what if she's not a ghost? What if
what did you see in that bathroom?
Well, I the second Lester came in, and I just needed to go get some cold water on my face, and I went in. I turned on the tap, splashed some water on my face, and then the whole room changed. Everything was in disrepair. The paint was peeling. There was rust around the toilet. There was rust and broken, chipped sink. And then I blinked a bit more, and then everything went back to the same.
Well,
and then I come back through, and there's 3 Lesters.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you noticed something a little out of sorts. I mean, as I I thought I told you about the chandelier's wiring problem.
Yeah.
What
what was wrong with the chandelier?
Oh, there's some frayed wires coming off of it. I'm surprised any of the light bulbs on it turn on at all.
Oh, they had a beautiful Rolls Royce in the garage. Must have been imported from Europe.
Yes.
Beautiful vehicle. It's just too bad they didn't have any petrol.
Jeffrey, you said you saw the woman by the well.
Right, over that way.
Well, let's go have a look at the well.
All
what do you
right.
say, gentlemen?
All
Is that on the path or off the path?
Yes, it's on the path. There's like a circle going around the house, and the well is at the top, the north end.
The servants seem to be very insistent we stay on the path. I wonder what that means.
Well, you do see that it is after a very short period, it turns into forest in all directions. But also it's a flagstone path, so there are a few places where the flagstones are up a little.
Yeah.
And if you kick one of those with your toe, you're going to go.
Could I pull out a notebook and just very quickly, I want to kind of look around my surroundings and draw what the paths might look like if they come like a symbol.
Oh yes, like Stonehenge or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, a Kamiya of itself.
It doesn't particularly look that odd. It's certainly not a Kamiya. Kamiyas are all straight lines.
That's what I was. Yeah. I was just sort of seeing if there's any strange.
Well, and I'm sure they just told us to stay on the path because they don't want us trampling the gardens.
That's
true.
Yes,
I mean, the gardens are spectacular.
Let's go have a look at the well, and then
Dr. Jeffrey, because you said that, do a spot hidden.
09. So that is a extreme success.
So you say the gardens are spectacular, and as you say that, and you sort of glance around, you're suddenly looking for the spectacular part. You don't actually see any flowers coming up anywhere. The hedges are badly overgrown. Some of them are damaged, like they've got some sort of insect boring them and has killed parts of them. And the general garden area, the grounds are not really in very good repair. You can see that there are weeds coming up all over the place. But as your head comes around and as you reconnect with Professors Higgins and Garadix, it suddenly looks back to normal. Like,
all right, sanity time.
Yeah, sanity check.
I made it this time. So another point, I assume.
Just a point. But you, the two of you, suddenly notice him straighten up and look rather startled.
Is everything all right, Jeffrey?
I think I've had the same thing occur to me, like happened to you in the bathroom, Milo. I made a mention of the garden, and you remember the tulips we saw. And then when I took a look at just after I said that, the garden looked like it hadn't been dealt with in decades. Hedges overgrown, damaged, no flowers. And then as I was turning back towards you guys, it was like everything was fine again.
Odd. No, you were able to speak with the grocer, weren't you?
Well, actually, no, it was the servant that did. He said that it had taken care of the order yet, and it sounded like he hadn't, and then he had ordered us 2 tins.
The strange thing is, now I would have thought, because we had our teas and coffee, but the thing is, we saw the tulips and everything before we had we saw the house in the building as it was as we entered. There's no way we've been drugged.
True.
I mean, I saw the strange thing with the wires.
Before we had, but that's what I'm saying. Before we consumed anything within the house.
Right.
But I mean, the fact that, I mean, even if that was the case, the three of us are having the exact same visions, if you will, including the three Lester Goodmans. I find that highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking triplets. I mean, maybe they're playing it. Maybe this is one of their practical jokes. You know what I mean? Twins and triplets do that occasionally.
Did you gentlemen also notice that the daughter, when she first entered, she had dust or some sort of as if she'd been somewhere where she had dust all through her hair and on her shoulders.
Oh, I figured she had been busy, prepping, maybe getting some things out of the attic. You know how when you're getting stuff out of the attic or something like that, or down in the basement, you get a little dust, or
yes, but you wouldn't then go and answer the door and meet guests with it all. You clean yourself up.
I guess you're right, especially a young girl. Well, not young, but a relatively beautiful lass like that. She would be a little bit concerned about her appearance.
She looked relatively young, didn't she? I'd say
yes,
30s,
mid-20s. Yeah. Let's go have a look at this.
Well, I suppose when the only people coming over are Lester, and Lester.
Don't forget Lester, yeah.
Yeah, I would never forget about Lester. Not really sure terribly concerned about impressing any of them.
I want to go and see if there's any footprints over near by the barefoot footprints over by the
I'll show you where I saw her approximately.
We'll assume that as you guys have been talking, you've been walking that direction. The property's not that huge, so you're just now approaching the well. Seems to be an old stone well, nicely designed. It's got a little cupola thing over the top of it. Mm-hmm. And you can see that there's one of the crank things with the bucket, except that the string seems to go down or the rope seems to go down, and the bucket must be down there. It's unwound from the thing. You're going to look around for footprints?
Yeah.
Okay. It's mostly gravel, so you don't think you're going to find any footprints.
What if they look really, really hard?
Do a spot hidden.
I got an 08.
You're rolling really well. You don't see footprints, but there seem to be places on the well where water has splashed because the rocks are a different color. Now it's starting to get, it's dusk. So you don't see everything really clearly. I mean, you still see it very clearly. You're not in the dark.
Yeah.
But it almost looks like there's something on one side of it that's splashed. What were you saying, Dr. Winters?
Yeah, does it look like someone may have brought up the bucket on that side?
Do you want to take a closer look?
Yeah, I'm going to go over.
All right. You walk over to the well, and you look inside. You can't see the bottom. It's dark down there. And do a listen roll.
Here's my listen. All right, take a look. Yeah, a normal success.
You can hear something splashing around or moving around in the water, not violently, just there shouldn't be any movement of the water down there.
And so now is it by the splashing, does it sound like something large or something small?
Well, it kind of echoes the sound as it comes up. And now that your eyes are sort of getting used to the light looking down, you think that there's something down there. And suddenly, maybe there's a half a foot or so of rope that's still wound around the crank. It suddenly pulls taut. The crank just turns like a half a turn, and you see the rope start to shake.
I think so. There's someone down there. But I'm going to also roll sanity because I was startled.
Are you all going to look?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
As you're looking, first you can hear what he's hears. You hear something moving around. The splashing gets a little louder for a moment. The rope has gone taut, and suddenly, as you're looking down, there's someone down there climbing up the rope. Their hands are bluish white, and they're pulling themselves up from below like this, and you can see them moving closer and closer towards the top. And when they're about 20 feet away, it's a deep well. As they're about 20 feet from the top, you can see that they have this person. It's not a they, it's a he, or it's a person, it's a she. You can see it has long, black, scraggly hair, and its face suddenly looks up at you. You can see it has,
oh God.
You can see it has sharpened greenish teeth, and it looks half decayed as it's climbing up the thing towards you. You can all do sanity rolls.
Yeah.
Pocket knife.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, I made it.
That's a fail for me.
All right, if you fail, do 1d4.
Right.
Otherwise, take 2 points of damage.
All right. No problem, Town.
That would be 4
1.
Wow.
Wow.
You did better than the others. What do you guys want to do?
I'm checking my pockets for some kind of little
pocket
knife.
or something like that on me.
Yeah.
You're professors. You don't carry weapons.
I'm talking about like a little...
Yeah, a little...
A letter opener?
A 1920s version of a little Swiss Army knife. Or
all right.
Yeah.
a Leatherman or something. Like,
or a pen
If
knife.
we all go...
Do a luck roll. Do a luck roll. Maybe you have a lucky Swiss Army knife or something.
26.
I got an 01. Oh.
How about you, Professor Higgins?
I'm not an 01, but a pass.
Well, you thought of it, so
Yeah.
you pull out your Swiss Army knife. What are you going to do?
I'm going to slowly start
All right.
going at the rope.
When
I'm going
you
to try
do
and
that,
steady the rope hard enough so that he can...
it's pretty steady because it's got the weight,
someone's
weight
climbing
on
up
it.
Yeah.
You see as you do that it starts to move faster as it's coming
All right.
up.
I'm going to look for a rock. We're doing on a gravel thing.
I'm going to pick up gravel and throw it.
Like a lot of the flagstones, and it's going to go.
All right.
Good.
Would that be a throw, or what would that be?
No, you probably can't pull this. The flagstones are probably cemented in place.
All right.
But let's just say that Joseph, you managed to cut through the string or the rope just as the thing is about to clear the top of the well, and you see the thing's arms sort of flail out for a moment, and you hear it fall back down, and you hear it splash.
Oh my God! What was that?
We all saw that, right? We all saw that.
Oh yes, we all saw that. What the heck have we stepped into, gentlemen?
I think we should just walk back to town.
I agree.
I'm going to go up to the front porch and grab the can.
As you look back towards the house, you hear Mr. Wayland. He's standing there and he's walking in your direction. He says, "Gentlemen, is everything all right?"
Yes, fine. Just getting some fresh air.
Oh well, I just got a call from the service store, and they said that they've been slightly delayed, but they're leaving right now. They should be here in 15 or 20 minutes.
Oh, excellent!
Yes, thank you.
This old well. I haven't come out here for a while. Since they used to draw. We now have a different well that draws the water up inside the house. This is where they used to get water, in days gone by. And
so there's another well.
Well, it's more of a pipe than anything else. It's not anything you can look down. It's a mechanism, you know.
It's a small pipe, though.
Or correct, it's a small pipe. He says, "Yes, this is always we leave this here just because it's rather, nostalgic to have such a thing, but it really does sort of present a danger." And he goes over and he sort of looks down the well, and he says, "Well, that's odd." And suddenly, you guys see this clawed hand reach up, grab him by the suit, and yank him forward. And he falls, like this, down into the well, and you hear a big splash at the bottom.
Yes, it's time to go, gentlemen.
Yep, it's time to go. Only one problem, gentlemen. His guests are going to wonder where he is. They knew he went outside. We're outside. I don't know about you, but...
we can't just leave him down there with that thing.
No, we can't.
Everybody do a listen roll.
79, fail.
42 succeed.
44 is a fail.
Okay. Dr. Jeffrey, as you guys are standing there for a moment talking, Jeffrey, Dr. Winters, you hear the crunch of gravel coming up behind you. And as you turn, it's Mr. Wayland. And he says, gentlemen, is everything all right?
Sanity time.
Yeah, that's another sanity.
All right. I passed. I don't know how I'm passing.
I failed.
I assume I drop another point.
I'll just say drop another point if you make it and drop 2 points if you fail.
All right.
You guys are getting kind of used to the fact that something really freaking weird is going on.
Yeah.
I've lost at least 5 sanity in the space of the whole game.
You have to do it all at once.
Yeah, it's 5 points all at once. If you lose a fifth of your starting total in one day, then you go indefinitely insane.
Okay.
You guys also notice that the temperature has dropped considerably.
Oh, it is May, but we do have jackets, fortunately.
What time does my watch say? I'm assuming I've got a watch.
Yeah. Your watch says 7 p.m.
And the light is matching up with that?
Pretty much, yeah.
I said we've lost.
But your memory isn't matching up with.
Yeah, that's.
Gentlemen, why don't you come back inside? It's getting rather chilly out tonight.
No, didn't we hear you say that the delivery people have left?
Yes, they'll be on their way. They can drive. Although I do hear that there might be some snow tonight. It's a little late in the year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for snow, especially, yes.
Yes.
Sometimes this far up north we get snow, even as late as early June.
I've heard that.
What are these other 2 buildings here around the house? There in the.
Well, that's the garage where the Rolls is, and that over there is the mausoleum where my wife is buried.
Sorry to.
I'd like to see it. It's actually rather lovely. It's all made out of marble, and it's got some sculptures on the sides of it.
Oh,
yeah.
I think we can make it over there before it gets dark.
I'll sort of lean over to Joseph as we're walking along, and just whisper to him, "Look for any symbols on the mausoleum."
All right. So you get to the mausoleum, and it looks like it's a circular building, very much like you would expect. I don't know, Zane, if you know what the Jefferson Memorial looks like. Mm-hmm. Looks kind of like the Jefferson Memorial, but a lot smaller.
Yeah, I was gonna.
There is a gate on the front of it, and you can see through the gate that in the center of this, it's open to the air on all sides, with columns going up, and then it steps down a couple of steps, and then there are a couple of what would be sarcophaguses, for the people, and on one of them is a carving, a full-length carving on the top of the sarcophagus of a woman. Now, of course, it's all white marble, but she looks like she's laying there asleep. And on the one next to it is a very similar carving, except of a man. And spot hiddens.
56 is a pass.
No.
Hard pass. 50.
Okay. For the
25.
passes, the man is definitely August Wing. How is his last name? Wayland.
Wayland.
It's August Wayland. You can also see that there are other places where there are little doors that would be other places to put bodies, in case the family got bigger. He says, yes, it's really lovely. It cost quite a bit to have made, but my wife deserves such a thing.
Yes, it's very, very beautiful.
It's very cold tonight.
Yes, just a little bit. I will kind of step in as kind of look around, but I'll look at the sarcophagi to see if there are any carvings,
scratches, or markings.
All right, do a spot hidden for me. But Joseph, do a listen roll as well.
Okay, the spot hidden is a failure.
I got a pass on the spot hidden.
But the listen is an 11, which is a hard success.
Okay.
My spot hidden is a success.
Those of you who passed your spot hidden, you don't see anything. There are some biblical phrases that are carved into the top of the dome and stuff like that. But Professor Higgins, as you're sort of looking around the sarcophagi, you can hear scratching on the inside of the lid of Evangeline Wayland's sarcophagus. Like there's somebody inside trying to claw their way out. Sanity roll.
Yeah. Nope. 89.
You can do a 1d4.
Only one.
Well, gentlemen, please come back inside. Rejoin us. It's warm inside. It's very cold out here. And as he says that, you see little light flurries of snow start to come down around.
Oh.
Are you all right, Higgins?
Yes. Are you okay?
Yes, sorry. This just a little bit of reflection here.
We're all going to end up dead at some point.
Yes, it's very, very true. And I'll start walking out, but I'll whisper to Winters and Milo, I can hear scratching in her sarcophagus.
You do notice that there is a epitaph on the side of her coffin that does list her date as about 32 years ago. If she died giving birth to Veronica.
Right, okay, so
Wayland.
Yes.
We couldn't help but notice the little charum. As a player, I'm ignorant as to what that word is still.
Karim.
The Karim in your library.
I don't know what that is. Are you referring to the Magic Square, Aleister Crowley stuff?
Yes.
You were looking at some of our books.
Yes.
Yes, in the carving in the lectern. Very
carving in the lectern.
Yeah, in the eagle, on the eagle.
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, gentlemen, it's very cold. Let's go inside.
Yes.
Right, so you start walking back.
I look at the other two. Okay, go ahead.
This time, as you're walking back, because you're over by the mausoleum, you follow another little path that heads back to the house on the side. And you enter the door, not the front door, but you enter a little side door that goes into what looks like it's a mid room. The room is fairly empty. If any of you have, let's see, architecture, if you have just I don't know, general knowledge of history, that works fine.
History, okay. Like I have anthropology. And
I have very good history.
Okay.
Success on history, regular success.
Okay.
Hard pass.
14 is the hard pass.
You can sort of see as you're coming up that there are two parts of the house. As you're walking up, the main house is to your right, and to the left is a smaller, much less ornate on the outside building, and there's a little building in between that connects the two of them. And as you go in, the first thing you notice is that the floor here is cement. And from the shape of the doors and things like that, what your guess is that there was a main house and a servant's quarters that were once separated. And then they built a room on the cement in between the two. So that's what you're going into. And it looks like they're using it mostly as storage. There's some pieces of furniture and there's things like that. But when you make an immediate right-hand turn and go through a door, you are coming into, it's the kitchen. Where did the map go? Oh. Yes, you are stepping into the kitchen. As you come into the kitchen, you see Rosemary, and she's standing over a couple of big cooking pots that she's got on the stove. The kitchen is very nice. It looks like they've upgraded to the most modern equipment that they have. There's actually a refrigerator. There's a big block table in the center where you can see that there are the remnants of vegetables, the husk from onions and the tops from carrots and things like that. And you can smell what smells like a wonderful soup that's being cooking on the stove. You can hear it boiling, and she's stirring it. And as she sees you, she greets you, but she's busy, so she goes back to cooking. And Wayland's like, we can just, go through the kitchen. You can see there are a couple of doors, probably to other storage rooms, and there's definitely a pantry there that's over there. I would like you all to do POW rolls as you pass through the kitchen.
That's a failure.
14 pass.
Let's see. Look at my POW. Oh, well, that's a pass, a regular pass.
Okay. Professor Higgins walks first, and as he walks, everything seems lovely and normal. But Milo and Jeffrey, when you get about halfway through the kitchen, you feel almost as if there is this creeping shadow behind you. And out of the corners of your eyes, it seems like everything in front of you is normal, but just in the periphery of your vision, it looks like the kitchen is in horrible disrepair, that the tiles on the walls are cracked, that the tables are rusted and water damaged, and that there's pots on the stove, but they look old and dented.
Right.
But you can't see it directly. If you turn and look,
It looks fine, yeah.
and there are cobwebs. You're sure there are cobwebs in the corners of your eyes when you try to look. I think that you're so freaked out at this point, you don't necessarily need to do any more sanity rolls at the moment. But if you want to lose a point, you can. Professor Higgins is completely doesn't notice this at all. And
oblivious.
You actually come out of the kitchen and you go into the dining room. And you can see that the dining room is beautifully set. All of the tableware is out. There are napkins. There are candles in candelabras on the table and around the room, all of which are lit and are burning brightly. There's a fire in the fireplace. Everything seems warm and inviting. And you can hear laughter from the other room, from the lounge.
How much, like, the voices, the laughter of the voices?
Mm-hmm.
Can you gauge about how many people it is? Or does it all just suspiciously sound like the same person laughing a whole lot?
Sounds like copies of the same person. Maybe 5.
Are we passing the phone by any chance on our way back? Have we been
Are you heading
left?
for the lounge?
I'm heading to where the phone is.
It's in the hallway on the way to the lounge.
Okay, we'll head that direction, but I want to stop at the phone.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Milo and I'm going, as I go over, kitchen. You didn't see what I saw, did you? Out of the corner of your eye?
Yes. I think it's almost like the veil of whatever's over this house is, there's like breaks in it and we can sort of see truly hear.
Jeremiah is suddenly there. Gentlemen, is everything all right? Can I get anything for you?
Oh, can you lead me to a phone?
Oh, sure. Right here. It's in the hallway. And he takes you right over to it.
Oh, thank you.
I'll leave you to it. And he walks away. He walks away. You see him go down and into the lounge.
The lounge, how visible is the lounge to the stairs upstairs?
It's right outside the door.
Yeah, damn, that's what I thought.
It's across the hall, but up,
I don't know about you, Milo, but I'm thinking that we probably should have walked back.
Well, no one's watching us now. Joseph makes this call. I think possibly we might try and make a headway back to the car. It might be worth trying to just walk back.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So we'll wait here we're waiting in the hallway with Joseph.
All right. Joseph, you pick up the phone and there's a dial tone. What do you do? You probably have to call the operator.
Operator, yeah, that's what I'm trying to reach an operator.
You call the operator. The voice says, "Operator."
Hi, I would like to reach the Harmon's grocery store in
that town.
Town.
Yeah. All right. Yes, just one moment, please. There's a few moments, and then there's a voice on the other phone. Harmon's grocery store. What can I do for you?
Hi, I'm just trying to check on a status on a delivery to the Wayland estate.
The status on the Wayland, that's already left. Did you need to add something to the order?
No. Just wanted to see where that was at.
They left a while ago. They should be there soon.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course. And the phone clicks.
Joseph.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ring again to the operator and ask
Operator.
for a mechanic in that town.
Oh, you're looking for a mechanic. Just a moment, please. I have the Umbra mechanic. Let me connect you.
Oh, thank you.
It rings and it rings and it rings. And then there's finally an answer. Yes, sir. This is mechanic. What can I do for you?
Yeah. Hi. My fellow travelers and myself, we were heading to Canada, but our car has run out of gas.
I ran out of gas. You should order some from Harmon's. They can bring it out to you.
Okay. Oh, excellent.
What did you want me to come out? Is there something wrong with your car?
Well, we're a bit worried if there's a leak or some kind of problem. It was so suddenly we're out of gas. So we would like it looked at.
Well, where are you located? You said you're.
I'm calling from Wayland Estate.
The Wayland Estate
on the road near there, just south of.
It's a little late, but I'll run on over there. I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
Oh, thank you so much.
And he hangs up the phone.
All right, well, let's go back to the car, gentlemen.
Yeah. So we'll go. We're not going to go out the front door. We'll go out the back to avoid.
You're going to go out the one that you came in?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I was just going to go out the nearest door, but
yeah.
Got to walk past the lounge to get there.
It's probably the nearest door. All right. So you walk back down the hall, and you're going to go through the kitchen. Just as you get to the kitchen, something seems very strange. You get to the kitchen, and you step inside, and you notice it looks like Rosemary is still standing in the same spot that she was when you left, and she's still sort of mechanically stirring the pot, like nothing at all has changed in her movements since you were in here 5 minutes ago. She seems to be staring at the wall.
That's nice. Out the door.
Yeah.
No. All right. You go back to the little cement-floored room between their two residences, and the door won't open to the outside. You can see out the window, and it looks like it's snowing.
Can I open the window?
Yes, the window will open.
All right. I'm going to open the window and try and climb out.
Okay. Do a Constitution roll.
Okay. My con's okay. I will spend the 3 luck to pass.
Okay. You're gonna climb out the window?
It's on the single floor, right?
Yeah, it's a single floor, right?
It's like beneath. I've opened the window.
Maybe 4 feet down to the ground. Yeah.
That's fine.
All right. So you climb out, and it's very cold. There's snow coming down. You manage to hop down to the ground, and just as you do, this blast of freezing cold air starts to hit you. It's making your lips numb, and despite the fact you have a jacket on, the cold seems to be eating its way right through to your body. You try to take a couple of steps into the snow, and the snow seems deep and heavy, and you suddenly start to think that if you try to make your way out into this, you'll die. It'll be a blizzard.
Wow, it's that bad. Jesus.
And it's also pitch black outside. Except for the light from the house actually shining.
I'll make my way back and try and climb back up.
I try to help him up.
All right.
What's the matter, Milo? I thought you were gonna.
Look, it's this. I know this is gonna sound crazy, gents, but there's like an unearthly force of cold out there. Like it's worse than a blizzard. Like it's come out of absolute nowhere. It's pitch black, and it feels like the snow is up to my waist, even though it's not. It's like trying to drag lead.
I'll shut the window.
There's definitely something off here. It's almost like this house the house isn't letting us leave. Doors won't open. We know that door opened.
What if it's not the house? We just saw our host get dragged down a well by some unearthly creature, and then we turned around and he was there again.
Yeah, I know. It's all strange. I mean, we've all seen it.
Jeremy suddenly comes up behind you. Gentlemen, is there anything I can help you with? Anything you need?
How many of the guests have arrived for this evening?
Oh, I'm not really counting, but Lester Goodman's here.
Oh, excellent. Anybody else?
Well, there's Lester Goodman, and I believe Lester Goodman's also here, and Lester Goodman. 5 or 6 in all, I believe. Sometimes it's difficult to count them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else besides Lester Goodman expected tonight?
Oh yes, of course. I believe that Lester Goodman's going to be here.
Also, okay.
Yes, and also possibly Lester Goodman.
How long is it till dinner?
Well, let's go ask Rosemary and see how she's doing. And you step into the kitchen, and Rosemary is still there doing this thing. Rosemary, how long until dinner? And she turns and she looks at him and she says, there's something I can't remember. And he's like, my dear, we have guests for dinner. When is dinner? And she says, just within a few, maybe 15 minutes, we'll be ready. And she starts humming a little tune, and she walks over and she goes into the pantry to get something.
I'm going to look to Winters.
And he says, don't mind my wife. She's not always that perceptive. If there's anything that you need, can I get you something to drink?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yes.
Yes, I'm quite all right, thank you.
All right. Well, perhaps you can go back and join the others in the lounge.
Right.
Otherwise, make yourself at home. Feel free to enjoy the house, and there's nothing off limits except the upstairs bedrooms.
Well, I might go have a look at the view from upstairs. It must be quite lovely. I won't go to the bedrooms, but I'm sure there's a window up there that I can view.
Yes,
out.
There's one down at the end of the hall that you can look out of.
Right.
How does that sound to you, gentlemen?
Yes, that sounds very nice. Shall we go, Joseph?
Yeah.
Right. Look into the pantry.
Dr. Winters, to a spot hidden for me.
I'm going to regret this. 17. So that's a hard success.
All right. As you look into the pantry, you suddenly notice that the maid, she is slumped against the wall, and standing over her, attacking her silently, is this white-dressed, blue-skinned thing. You can see that she has enormous, sharp, greenish, nasty teeth, and that she's biting into Rosemary's neck. And Rosemary's blood is squirting and going all over the floor. You can do a sanity roll.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Nope. It's time for me to blow a roll.
Right. 1d4.
Okay. Surprised it's not more. 3.
Right. You leap back. The others, you see him do this. And as he leaps back in what seems to be horror, Rosemary comes walking out of the pantry with a couple of cans of things in her hand, and she goes over and she starts opening the cans.
Do I make another sanity check? It's
no, because you're
changed.
In the middle of that sanity
all
check,
right.
So that's all part of
Winters. Jeffrey, are you okay?
I think I'll talk to you guys upstairs. All right. It's not
yeah,
exactly the place to talk about this.
No, I was kind of curious what was in the basement myself.
Well, the reason I want to go upstairs is because possibly we want to go to the exact place they don't want us to go. The only place they've told us not to go.
True. As we head upstairs, we go, all right, what I saw in the pantry, gentlemen, was the cook being attacked by the lady from the well with big, large teeth and blood gushing all over the place as she bit into her. And then all of a sudden she comes walking out. I'm stunned.
It was like what we saw with Wayland at the well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry there. I didn't want to say anything in front of her or the servant, but
There's obviously something, because we've seen Wayland himself get killed, and then he's come back. We saw this Lester Goodman. We've got at least 6 copies of him. The butler keeps popping up out of absolutely anywhere. The maid is being attacked by this woman that keeps appearing. The only person we haven't seen again is the daughter.
True. Let's go upstairs and check that out then.
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm concerned for our safety now. I don't know. It might be better to face the cold what's going on here.
It was an unnatural cold. Like it was this. It's like you said. It was like the house. It was like there was something that was stopping. If we went out, we would die. Unless we can find a lot of extra padding and clothing, we're not going to survive it out there.
Yes, I agree with you. There might be some extra, even the blankets wrapped around us might give us some protection. But this place is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Keep your wits, gentlemen. Keep your wits.
Okay. As you leave that, and you're now going to be heading back down the hallway towards the stairs, the party has sort of spilled out into the hall, into the hallway itself. So you see at least 3 Lester Goodmans that are laughing and talking to themselves. You can hear that there's people in the lounge and the library.
And all Lesters, right?
All Lesters. And you do see Jeremiah walking back and forth, and you see Rosemary passing out coffee and tea and things like that. And it suddenly occurs to you that Rosemary is back there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking immediately, even before you said that.
Okay.
There's enough strange things going on. I don't know if I would be shocked by that at this time point.
No, we know we're hallucinating or something. Or yeah.
You also see Mr. Wayland, and he's chatting with a couple of Lesters.
Are we seeing the daughter?
No, you don't see the daughter at the moment.
Yeah. Let's go upstairs.
Also, we knew she was covered in dust.
Everybody do luck rolls.
52
I passed the 12.
All right,
is a
passed.
pass, regular pass.
39, which is a regular pass.
You all passed?
Yeah.
All right. You actually manage to get through the crowd without any of them engaging you. It's not like they're not a few of them that don't say, "Oh, hey," like this when you walk by, but you manage to get past them. As you get to the stairs, you do notice that Veronica is at the top of the stairs at the balcony, and she's standing there looking down the stairs, and Lester is standing next to her, and she's having an animated sort of funny conversation. Now, the conversation of what's going on around you, it's the first time you really start to notice that they're all talking about various types of magic, and especially old books and things that you can find from the 14th and 15th century, and books they've consulted and books they've looked into. You might even hear a few forbidden mentions of books that everybody would like to read, but they're not easy to get a hold of. One book that keeps coming up is one called the Treaty of the Mage Abramelin. You've probably all heard of this text. It's a 15th century German text. It's kind of in line with some of the things that Aleister Crowley and the Golden Dawn would use, and things like that. And that it contains a rather long ritual that is meant to do something. You're not exactly sure if you can remember. Everybody do listen rolls.
Oh, critical success. Or extreme,
26.
extreme roll 5.
Fail.
Failure.
Okay. Extreme success. Dr. Winters, you hear Wayland mention that Veronica is preparing to do this, what's called the Abramelin operation, which is a ritual. And he says it's going to be quite extensive. It's going to take her 18 months to do this entire ritual. And she's going to have to be sequestered, and she's going to have to do all that. We've been preparing for some time. I tried to do it myself, but it was a failure. And I don't exactly remember why it failed, but she's going to attempt it now and see if it's possible. And you're hearing this as you're walking through the crowd. So you've gotten now to the foot of the stairs. What would you like to do?
All right. I mentioned to the other two what I just heard.
They probably have heard of this as well. I guess you could all do occult rolls to see if it sparks a memory.
Nope.
I got a regular pass.
I got a regular pass as well.
Okay. The two of you have heard of it. Supposedly it's a long drawn out, very difficult ritual. Takes 18 months. And that the culmination of it is that you are able to make contact with your guardian angel, and that you are then able to commune with your guardian angel and learn some of the secrets of the universe, including how to bind demons so that they can no longer influence your life. At that point, you actually become a true magician.
Remember the Bible verse we found that spoke of everlasting life and guardians and that sort of stuff.
Well, putting I mean cherubim over the tree of life, yeah. Well, what if they're trying to bind some kind of entity, some metaphysical construct? Perhaps the Karam that we've seen, or cherub that we've seen, have something to do with that. I mean, prison, an obstacle where you seem to be a bit trapped here. So I wonder if some defacing is in order.
Yeah,
maybe as if you're saying like that's the. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, I was thinking that maybe if we...
Unless that's the only thing keeping us from being run over or by that, but I don't know. I mean, we seem trapped here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we carved out using the magic numbers the word freedom.
I'm not sure if we have to go that far, but
yeah.
Well, let's check out.
Wayland comes over to where you guys are standing, and he says, "Gentlemen, are you enjoying yourselves? I don't see that you don't have any drinks or cigars."
Well, I had a cigar earlier. I'm trying to lay off the sauce here.
We're just enjoying looking around your lovely home. We're just admiring the architecture and the beautiful art you have.
Oh, well, thank you. He starts to explain some of the buildings and when the building was constructed and all of that, and who some of the artists are. He says, that tonight we're sort of celebrating. My daughter is going to be attempting the Abramelin operation. Are you familiar at all?
Oh, I'm familiar that it takes. That's a great investment of time.
Well, we've been preparing the upstairs for a while. I myself attempted the Abramelin, but for some reason nothing happened, and it's so much time to invest and so much work. We've prepared the upstairs, you see, specifically for that reason. It requires complete sequestering. You don't interact with people. You have to study religious and magical texts. You have to perform certain rituals on a daily basis. No alcohol, certain things you're allowed to eat and certain things you aren't allowed to eat. It's quite involved. And all the preparation and everything. So it was very disappointing when it didn't work for me. Something seems to have gone wrong. And he suddenly looks vacant.
Yes, I think Lester was gonna let me try one of his Cuban cigars in the library. Here, come with me.
Let's join Lester in the library.
Yeah.
And you both walk into the library. He says, there's a great many esoteric works that are worth reading. A great many religious. It's very interesting that so many religions have the same basis in the background of them.
Yes, it's a very interesting thing for a human culture to have, develop these similar kind of concepts about, transcending physical desire to achieve a kind of enlightened spiritual state. It's very common theme, which I find quite fascinating with the human condition.
He suddenly looks at you and he says, I can't seem to remember much after my daughter came home.
Yes, the maid seems to be forgetting things too. If we're in the library, I want to go after that symbol with my pocket knife.
Okay.
Me and Jeffrey have slipped upstairs while he's gone.
Oh, they've abandoned me. Oh, that's great. All right.
We used the distraction.
Do a luck roll. I mean, Dr. Higgins, Professor Higgins.
Oh, okay. I mean,
okay, 47's a pass.
Okay. Nobody's actually right in front of the statue. And once again, the statue is now facing back out the window. But there are two Lesters, one on either side of it, standing there chit-chatting with each other and laughing. It might be a little awkward you are going to have to walk up, turn that thing around.
I was talking about the one in the library.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're in the library. Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. There are Lesters.
There are Lesters on either side of it, chit-chatting.
Oh, so he's now in a room full of a bunch of people as well.
Hey. So I'll call the second copy of the maid over.
Okay. And she comes over and she says, yes, dinner will be ready in about 2 minutes.
Oh, excellent. Hey, Lester and Lester.
Yes.
Have you tried this coffee?
Oh, yes. Her coffee is legendary.
I don't know. I think that this particular batch, you got to try it. The balance of the cream and the sugar, like.
Did she put any of those special herbs in it? And one of them takes the coffee and dresses just like this. And he says, nope, don't taste anything weird. And he laughs. He says, man, you look very disconcerted. Is everything okay? And Jeremiah suddenly comes up behind you and he says, sir, is everything all right?
Oh, everything's just fine. This is just excellent. I'll take them coming over to kind of position myself over by that statue and
okay.
Start.
All right. So you go over there and you very quietly start doing that. Do a
pick up a book, kind of look at it.
Do a stealth roll for me.
21. I'm going to spend 1 point of luck.
All right. So you start to dig into it, and it's lead, so it's fairly soft. Are you going to do like just a crisscross over it, or?
Yeah, disrupt the straight lines, like.
Okay.
Swirl
so
it around.
You start doing that, and you're doing your best to be completely stealthy, but one of the Lesters across the room, sitting in one of the wing chairs, you suddenly realize he's looking right at you. And when you do it, he gets this big smile on his face, and he goes and winks at you. And then he goes back to smoking his cigar. All right, the two of you, you go up the stairs, and you are now walking towards Veronica and Lester. And she's like, oh, gentlemen, how very nice. We haven't had much of a chance to speak. Are you also, I know that you're just here because your car broke down, but do you have any interest in the occult?
Oh, I come across it occasionally in my my teachings of history at Miskatonic.
My father said that you were all teachers at Miskatonic. I'm surprised I didn't take any of your classes.
Yes, I'm surprised as well. I'm one of the teachers of psychology.
Well, I didn't take psychology. I did take philosophy.
I teach history.
But perhaps I didn't get your class, Mr. Higgins, Professor Higgins. It's a shame. It's very interesting. Did my father tell you that I'm going to be performing the Abramelin operation?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Sounds quite exciting.
Well,
So you've.
I'm sure it's exciting, but it's definitely grueling and difficult to manage.
It's been a long couple of months then.
18 months, yes. There was a mistake in a previous. We had another translation from the German, and it said 6 months, which was quite incorrect.
Is that's the one your father performed?
Yes, exactly. And he wasn't able to. He didn't realize at the time that it was a mistake, and since then we've corrected it. But
I would love to see the translation that you yourself are currently using.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that could be quite interesting.
I could show that to you. Sure, please. Now, and she turns around and she says this, and then she points at the bottom of the door. And when she does that, you notice that there's something white, uh, and it kind of yellowish white, all over at the bottom of the door. You suddenly realize that there's beeswax that has been poured on the ground and under the door to seal the door. And then it's sealed. And she says, this is my oratory. And we can't go in there. That's specifically for when I'm doing the ritual. Besides, it would make a mess if we did. But I can show you. I'll take you to my bedchamber, which I have a number of. I have the text there, if you'd like to look at it.
Yes, that would be quite exciting.
It's one that was rather difficult to obtain. You understand? There's not very many from the 15th century.
How did you obtain it?
Well, my daddy has money, and it took quite a lot of searching, but
money talks.
Yeah,
that's true.
It also opens the way to finding things. So she takes you down the hallway, and she opens up the door, and she points to the other side. There's another door, and she says that is also off limits because it's been prepared for part of the ritual.
So how are you going to get in?
Well, in the ritual, when the time comes, I'll be able to break the seal. I'll be allowed to break the seal. But for now, it's prepared, it's ready. But once the seal is broken, then that part of the ritual begins. She says, in there, we've covered the floor in sand, thus the wax. And when the ritual comes to its climax and I'm able to summon and bind demons, I write the symbols in the sand with a magic wand. You see. So she opens up her door and you step inside, and there's a big 4-poster bed and a desk. And she takes you over to the desk, and you can see that it's a large desk. She has a number of books on the table. What she has, you can see almost immediately, since you guys are all familiar with these kind of things. You can see that she has, she has an actual Torah in scroll form, bound in silver. That's you've probably seen them in pictures of Jewish temples. She has a Bible, which looks like a Septuagint. It's the big LXX, all in Greek. And she has a Koran, leather bound, and that's in Arabic. And then she has the book, a book called The Book of Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage. And she says this is a Mather's translation. It's bound in red. It's a hardback book, and it's written in English. She says this was the culprit that caused the original problem. But we can't figure out exactly why it didn't work. And then the next one she picks up is Das Buch Abramelin, bound handwritten manuscript, and it's in dense Gothic script in early New High German.
And you understand this?
This is the one. Oh, yes, I speak German quite fluently.
High German is not an easy language to understand, especially the Gothic.
Indeed not. And then, and she says those. This is just our journals. You know, we want to keep a good record of everything that we do and so forth. So here, if you'd like to look at it, you can actually purchase a Mathers edition. It's easier to find, but this is the actual German, hand copied.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And she shows you inside. It looks like she explains that it's divided into 3 parts. The first part of the book kind of tells the story of how this person received the magical tomes and so forth. The middle part of the book is the ritual and all of the details. And then the final part of the book is all kinds of magical symbols and squares, which once you've completed the ritual, you can then use these to bind the demons.
So you need to bind the demon then.
Well, the idea is that you call your guardian angel, and the guardian angel imparts to you all of this knowledge of the universe, and including how exactly to bind the demons. And then you bind the demons in such a way that they can no longer influence your life. So you become a pure human being, and then you can accomplish actual what appears to be magic. If everything in this is correct, then I should be able to fly. I should be able to transport myself from one place to another. I should be able to affect nature. I should become like, and you realize the ritual is it's about purification. You know, everything has to be done on a certain day. One has to follow all of the traditional fasting rules and so forth in order to accomplish this. It's very, very.
And you said that you and your father have both used journals through this whole process.
Well, yes, that's an important part of it. One has to, keep a record of what one's done. But these are personal, and she puts her hands on them.
Oh, of course. I would never dream of. Jeffrey, we should probably try and find Higgins.
I agree with you. We need to find him quickly.
Well, thank you so much for showing us all of this. It's fascinating. Like I only wish I'd had you as a student. You seem very astute, and it would have been a privilege to have taught you.
Yes. It's unfortunate that the area of psychology missed such a rising star.
Thank you very much. She says, you said you were professors at the Miskatonic. Funny, I don't really remember much of my college days.
When did you graduate?
Oh, I graduated a few years ago. But
I guess you've had your...
Everything seems kind of difficult after that. I don't really
perhaps your
remember.
Your journals will help.
And as you look at her, she suddenly looks a little transparent. Like, is it a trick of the light or what, that you can sort of see the rest of the room through her? And she's like, All right, gentlemen. Well, why don't we go back to the party?
After you, and I'll sort of put my hand out to kind of almost to let her go past. And I want to kind of sort of like almost brush her shoulder as she passes to make sure she's physically there.
Okay. Do a... Nah. Feels oddly cold. Dr. Winters, I want you to do an intelligence roll because of something that you said a while back.
Okay.
That is just now starting to
All right.
you.
I actually made it a regular pass.
Okay. When you were outside, you walked over to the well. You were walking with the others, and when Mr. Wayland had called you and asked, you turned back and you looked at the house. The garden, there was nothing. You saw the garden looked odd, but there was something also odd, and you couldn't quite put your finger on it. But it suddenly occurs to you what it was. You saw no smoke coming out of any of the chimneys in the house.
I had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
As we were heading over there.
But somehow you got distracted. You never saw any smoke coming out of the chimneys. And there's fires in the fireplaces in all the rooms.
Right. Is Milo heading down with her yet, or?
Yeah.
No, I'll just let her pass me.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right there.
Milo.
Yeah.
Remember I made that statement as I was looking towards the house to see if there was smoke coming out?
Mm-hmm.
And when I was outside at the well, when I looked back as Mr. Wayland was coming over, the chimneys didn't have any smoke. Now, all the fireplaces in this place have been going. Yet when we were outside, there was no smoke from the chimneys.
She's as she passed me, I brushed her shoulder. She's freezing.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Should we break the seal?
I mean, I want to have. I was going to have a look at those journals to sort of see why. I'm concerned that maybe when her father did this,
gentlemen,
failed.
Please. She's at the door.
Yes, of course. Sorry, just academic jargon where he's coming up. We must go find Higgins.
Yes, we must.
All right. So you start heading down.
Yeah.
All right, Higgins. You have damaged that thing. Nothing seems to happen. No odd feeling or anything, except that Lester seems to think that it was amusing what you did. And so the party goes on, and as you guys are coming down the stairs, Rosemary says, gentlemen, dinner is served. And everybody starts to walk into the other room.
I hold back so that I can talk to Higgins and Milo.
Let's. We're just going to go. Just freshen up. We're going to go wash our hands and things before dinner, if that's
of
fine.
course.
And so I'll lead the guys back to the water closet that I first went to, so we can speak.
All right. So you're walking back towards the water closet to speak.
Yeah.
All right. There's some odd stuff going here. I was mentioning to Garadex that remember how I mentioned there had been. I was wondering if this place had a chimney going. Well, when we were outside at the well, when I looked back at the house, there's no chimneys going now. All the fireplaces are going. They were going on back then. There should have been smoke.
Well, to face that prison symbol, it hasn't seemed to do anything. But I am curious if their little ritual was more successful than they realized.
Yeah, I'm wondering too. But they do have a text in German, old Gothic German upstairs.
I'd love to take a look at that. I could read that.
Well, it's upstairs.
But if
we're gonna have to walk past them to get to the books.
Well, I'm just gonna start walking that way. Look, whatever has us here is pretty amused with itself. I'm curious if these people have been bound by something instead of the other way around.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're the ones that are in the prison.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe because she said that the father did it first and failed. What if he'd let something in?
Oh, now we're here too. But I want to look at that German text, see what it's actually.
What's I'm saying? Binding demons. But what if they,
Yeah.
If you guys want to look at that, I'm gonna do. Now where the toilet, so the water closet. Remind me again where that is in the hallway.
It's literally across from the dining room.
Right. Okay. So it's quite there.
You see, everybody's moving into the dining room and taking seats.
Have I noticed any other? So, like, we had the eagle, we had the bust. Am I noticing any other kind of statues or like ornaments or things like that where I think might have in any of my walking through?
There's a lot of things in the house. No, I mean not at all. Not so far. I mean, you've noticed things everywhere.
Okay.
Do an intelligence roll. Do an occult roll, because it's
an occult roll. Okay.
This is religion.
Yes, that is going to be a hard.
All right. It suddenly occurs to you that there's been now that you've heard what sort of is going on. If you've heard mention of angels, and it starts going through your mind. You read something about a cherubim. Okay, in the Bible, the cherubim are described as having 6 wings and 4 heads, and the 4 heads are a human head, an eagle's head, a bull's head, and a lion's head.
Okay, so I'm looking for a bull and a lion.
But you're in the hallway.
If they're going to go up, they're going to go back upstairs. I'm going to kind of go to the back of the house and just start searching the rooms and making my way forward, looking for an ox or a bull. Sorry, a bull ox thing, and what was the other one?
An eagle, a bull, a human, and a lion.
And a lion. So yeah, I'll start from the back and.
Okay, well, when you think about doing that, almost immediately, Jeremiah is there, and he says, "Please, gentlemen, dinner is being served. There are places set for you."
Ah, yeah, excellent. And I'll
he's kind of ushering you.
Jeremiah, could I have a word quickly?
Of course, sir. Of course.
And I'll sort of like lead him into the dining room a bit so that the other two can kind of get past me. I was just wondering, how you've been working for the Waylands for years now.
Oh yes.
So
they've been very good to me. They just recently sent me on a small vacation. In fact,
excellent.
it's the 3rd vacation this year.
Third vacation, I
Yes.
say. Where did you go?
Well, the first vacation they sent me on, it's actually not 3 times this year. It's been actually quite large leaves. Rosemary and I. The first one was a couple of years ago. It was we had paid leave for 6 months.
Oh.
And then after that, we had a paid leave for 18 months.
Right.
And then we've just gotten back from a second at 18-month.
So there was a 6
leave.
months and then an 18 months, and now there's another 18 months.
Yes, that was the last one. We just got back a while.
And you stay, you live here, obviously?
Yes, we live in the guest house in the back.
Oh, lovely.
Funny, I don't quite remember
where
what
you
we
went.
did on our vacations, but they were lovely.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, yes. So, and then, whereabouts am I sitting?
Right over there, sir. But he suddenly seems a little disturbed, like something you said has made him think. And it seems very odd to him. But before we get to that, the other two, what are you guys doing?
We went back upstairs.
Yeah, I'm going after that German book.
Okay.
And you should probably open that sealed room. We've got it.
Well, what happens is you start moving in that direction, and when you get to the bottom of the stairs, Jeremiah is standing there, and he says, "Gentlemen, dinner is being served. Please."
Oh, I just wanted to take a quick look at a German book that's upstairs, if that's all right.
Oh, well, that belongs to the mistress. Please.
No.
She can show that to you afterwards. Right, your dinner will get cold.
Oh, of course.
Professor Milo.
Yeah.
He looks disturbed for a moment, and as he does, you suddenly hear something coming down the hallway from the kitchen, and it's growling. And as you turn to look, this woman in the white torn dress and everything, with the long black hair and the nasty green teeth filed to points, she comes running at Jeremiah and sort of screeching. And in that moment, you're pretty sure that this is Evangeline Wayland from the central picture. But she attacks Jeremiah, and she's got long fingernails, and she just starts clawing at him. Sanity roll.
Does he react at all?
Yes, he's like, oh, like this, and he falls to the ground, and blood starts.
96.
All right.
96.
I think you can do a 1d4 plus 1.
1d4 plus 1. Let's see. And that's a 4.
Okay. So you leave that. She's literally tearing him limb from limb. Guts are coming out, and he's struggling, but she's tearing him apart. And as you sort of turn to run away, you see Jeremiah ushering Professor Higgins and Winters back down the hallway. And when you look back, there's nothing there in the hall.
Mm-hmm.
And did you lose 4 or 5 points?
4.
No, he lost 5.
So I lost 4 plus the 1.
Oh, so you did 5. You did lose 5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, roll an intelligence roll.
Luckily I don't. I've got very high intelligence. This is going to be That's a pass. I got a 40.
All right, 1d8.
1d8. I got a 1.
All right. Professor Higgins and Professor Winters, you see Milo just up ahead of you. He jumps back, he hits the wall, and he just sort of slumps down. He faints on the ground, and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh dear heavens!
We got to take him upstairs to one of the beds.
Jeremiah's like, oh dear.
Let's take him. Yeah, let's take him up.
Well, we can take him and set him on the couch in the lounge.
Yes. Let's go do that.
Yeah, we'll keep him. We'll keep an eye on him. You need to take care of the guests. All right, and right. I will.
So he sort of helps you go in there and helps you put Milo on the couch, and then he says, "Yes, I'll go to this. Yes, I'll tell them you'll be with us in a few moments."
Yes,
I'll bring you a wet towel.
Oh, thank you.
That's greatly appreciated. When he leaves, I'm going to go after the symbol in the
and I will stay with Milo to cover. Or do you want me to go with you? I don't really like leaving Milo here by himself.
No, I'm still in the lounge. I'm not leaving the lounge.
Milo, do a 1d10.
A 1d10?
Yeah, that's how many.
Oh, I figured you were going to say how many minutes.
3.
So 3 minutes you're going to be passed out. All right.
Here, I'll go up the stairs while he's gone. You get rid of the symbol in this bust.
Yeah, I get rid of the symbol on the bust.
So, Professor Higgins, you go upstairs, and Jeffrey, you go into the bust. What do? You turn it around and
and scrape it.
All right. You manage to do that, and nothing happens.
All right. No, I did what I was supposed to. Now I take care of Milo. You okay, Milo? Milo.
Right. So it takes Milo 3 minutes, but he finally sort of opens up.
Oh, God.
And Milo, you remember what happened. So you're.
Oh, God.
Was it as bad as what I saw in the pantry?
It was worse. She was clawing, and his inside. She ripped him open. Oh.
You were right there? Oh, my God.
We need to get out of here, Jeffrey. Where's Joseph?
He went upstairs.
Let's go. Come on.
All right.
Joseph, you head up to the top of the stairs, and there are basically 3 rooms, 2 of which are sealed with wax. So you can go into the bedroom where the books are.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go find that German book they were talking about.
Okay. You find it, and you begin to look at it. It is indeed an authentic handwritten copy of the Abramelin text.
Start skimming through the ritual part, especially the whole binding the demons thing.
Well, the book doesn't actually tell you how to bind demons. Supposedly, the angel will tell you that.
Okay.
You have to summon the angel, but it takes 18 months to do that.
Okay. I'll take this book with me, but I'm going to go open one of the sealed doors.
Okay. Let's see, do you go? I thought it would be clever to print on both sides.
Safe and paper.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh-wee.
I've done the same thing.
Okay. Say left or right.
Left.
Okay. So you go to the left door, and you the seal, the wax is there, and the door opens inward, but you have to kind of use some force to crack through the wax and get it to open. It seems like the entire door has been sealed. You push it open, and the floor in the room is completely covered in sand, about 2 inches deep. And in the center of the room, there is what appears to be an altar. The entire room is composed of like blonde cedar wood, and it smells of like wood. And there is a large lamp hanging from the ceiling, very ornate, over the center of the table. And there is like a little closet over to one side. You can see that there are a number of things inside of it. It looks like folded up garments in gold and white, and maybe a number of like shoebox sized cases. This definitely looks like a room designed for a ritual. It also looks like the sand has been very carefully raked to make it. You can see that there's actually a rake, ritual-looking rake, like it looks like a Zen garden in here.
Right.
And you can also see that there's another door, and that other door leads into the other chamber that's also sealed. That door is also sealed. You can see from where the sand scraped away from the door when you opened it, that all of the cracks in all of the wooden flooring have been sealed with wax as well.
So what am I supposed to looking at the book real quick? What is the whole like beginning of this ritual supposed to be?
Oh, lots and lots of prayers and fasting and studying texts and contemplating them, and
Lots of self-discipline activities.
Very
traditional kind of occult religious
following lunar cycles and all sorts of things. It has a very Jewish sort of feel to the rituals.
And a key of Solomon-esque kind of.
Well, yeah. In fact, you might have actually even seen a copy of the Key of Solomon downstairs in the library. Lots of texts and things like that. There's also a silver incense censer on the altar, and the room vaguely smells of incense.
I mean, given that we're currently living in some kind of haunted madhouse, I don't feel too bad about disrupting this place, and so I'm going to walk through and try to go into the other room.
The other room? All right. By now, the others have come up the stairs, and they are peeking in the door. They see that you've opened it.
Higgins, they've already done the ritual.
At least twice.
The butler, he was sent on holiday for 6 months, then 18 months, and then 18 months again. They've done it.
How are they doing it again? And I'm going to start opening the other door.
Okay. The same situation. There's about 2 inches of pure white sand inside the room. But there is the vague smell of decay in this room as it opens. And you can see, let's see, where is it? You can see that there is something lying on the ground over at one side. The sand in here is also smooth, but it looks like there was some symbols being drawn in the sand. The thing lying on the other side of the room looks like a body.
There's a body in here.
And it's dressed in black.
I'm going to go over to Veronica's journals.
Okay. You're back in that room?
Yeah. While they're doing that.
Yeah, I'm following Higgins, but I'm gonna grab the silver candelabra, assuming we're gonna need light.
No, there's light in these rooms. So.
Okay. Then I will keep on going. I will join Higgins.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the
all right. So you're gonna go for there's two journals.
Yeah, gonna go for the journals.
All right. So Higgins and Winters, I assume then you're walking over to where the body is.
Yep. Right.
All right. You see, as you approach, that the body is of a woman. She seems to be dressed in clothing that would indicate that she was in mourning, because it's black clothing, and it's fairly what you'd expect to see a woman in who is in mourning. And she has a 2-foot long piece of wood, sharpened at one end and maybe about an inch wide on the other, like a stake. And it's driven right through her middle. And it seems suddenly obvious that she did this to herself. She purposefully held the thing here and then fell on it.
Oh
my God.
And she's rotting.
It turns out having the truth of the universe revealed to you is not such a great thing for your mental state. I'm gonna take this out of her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do a history. Do an anthropology roll.
I got some anthropology too.
You do an occult roll. That would work too.
Okay, so a 42 is a pass on the occult. It's not enough for my anthropology.
I got the anthropology. I just didn't get the occult.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. We're working together, teamwork.
Considering magic and rituals and things like that, you're pretty sure this is a magic wand, or at least it's used to draw the symbols in the sand, and it looks like there was part of symbols sort of drawn in the sand.
I look at the sand. I gotta quickly jot down the symbols.
It's incomplete, and she kind of fell on part of it.
So what do you think happened, Joseph?
I mean, they did this ritual to contact something, I guess. And they didn't like what it showed her. Anyway,
that could be it.
Everyone else is stuck here. We're stuck here.
You know, normally I might disagree with you, but considering everything that we've seen here, I have to agree.
There's the spirit of the dead wife. There's this Lester Goodman who may or may not be that thing toying with us. I don't know, but I'm taking this stick and I'm going to flip to the very back of this German book and look at kind of what the symbols it talks about and what they mean.
All right, I'll look around the room then. All right, now I will look around the room and see what else is there.
There's not much else. This definitely looks like the room where you would summon the demons and bind them.
Looking at her, who does she look like?
She's Veronica. So you're dead sure it's Veronica.
So she killed herself here.
Professor Milo. You pick up the journals. Which one did you want to look at? Wayland's or Veronica's?
Veronica's. I'm going to look at Veronica's.
Get hers first.
All right. Passages from Veronica Wayland's journal. Before beginning at the beginning the Aberlin operation.
Abramelin. Yeah.
Aberlin operation. I've said before, I do not believe it was a heart attack. My father was murdered. I'm certain of this, but I need proof. All I have is the text he followed. That must be it. Lester Goodman sold him the book and the lamp. Who is he? Why did he want my father dead? The only way to obtain proof is to follow my father's footsteps and track the being that did this to him once it appears again. I'm confident I can hold it here once it is summoned. I know the arts of which I can interrogate it. If it is withstanding my questioning, at least I will have it imprisoned to show others. The authorities will have to believe me then. I will draw upon the power of Saturn to construct a ward that will hold the spirit. Sigils created from its camo will mark the 4 cardinal directions and turn the house into a prison it cannot escape. Shit. Should the need arise, these may be brought together around the spirit to banish its skin, to tighten a noose around its neck until it has no directions left to which to flee, but back to the invisible world which it came. Barrier, bind, obstacle, prison. These worlds will hold the spirit in Saturn's leaden grip. May the faces of the angels that guard the gates of the Garden of Eden guard this house and prevent any ill from leaving. Last entry. Midnight 18 months have come to an end. If I fail tomorrow, I will follow in all my father's footsteps, ultimately to my own grave. I hope that someone might find one day, read this, and succeed in bringing the guilty to justice. May the fruit of my victory, the spirit may attain, prove to be a Saturnine Chalice indeed. Shit. Okay, as soon as I've read that, I am bolting to the other room to find the professor and stuff and say, Lester Goodman, he sold the book and the lamp, or a lamp or some kind to the father. The father died, was murdered. She came back to perform it. Please tell me you didn't break the images.
We've gotten rid of 2.
We've let it out, whatever it is. That was what was confining it.
Well, we don't want to be here. We can't leave either.
Yeah, but we've broken the it's like a prison she built to confine it if she died.
Well, it's too late now.
We need to go.
Unless the other 2 had to be destroyed as well.
I mean, yeah, we might be trapped here with it. I mean, if it knows that we need to get out of here, and if we help it escape, maybe it will leave us alone.
Here. So a cerebellum is got head of a human, an eagle, a bull, and a lion.
Yeah, cherubim. Yeah.
And here she says, and I'll show them on them in the book. She said the name. She said prison, obstruct, bind, and what was the fourth one?
Say that again.
Obstacle,
prison, bind, and
barrier.
So we're looking for a lion and a bull.
Well, it said at the compass points of the house, so we just need to go to the other places that would correspond.
One of those would be the dining room.
Okay, and then I'm guessing
would probably be all the way at the servants' quarters.
Okay, let's go to the dining room. And into the
hang on quickly while we're here. Jeffrey, this is
right.
This is August's journal. See if you can see anything in that.
All right, I'll look through it. What do you want me to?
Has anyone seen a lamp anywhere?
Unless you mean that lamp that's in that first room.
Well, that's got something to do with it as well.
All right, 6 months into the Aberlin operation. Albermelin operation. It's amazing how the same concept can appear across different religions, albeit wearing a different face and bearing a different name. Namel al-Kahim and the gods' messengers, part of a heavenly hierarchy and have no physical form. Although Mammonides propose that they are metaphorical representations of laws of nature and universal principles. The Malachi are messengers and agents of God's will, and were also part of a celestial hierarchy, and their forms are incomprehensible. Even in dreams, they manifest in different forms. The various branches of Christianity portray angels differently. Catholicism divides them into 9 choirs and describes them as being forever incorporeal, although the seraphim are also described as 6-winged, the cherubim as 4-faced, having faces of a lion, an ox, a human, and an eagle. The thrones as a burning wheels rimmed with eyes, etc. Protestantism describes them as genderless and invisible messengers and agents of God's will. If it is required to ensure that God's will is enacted, they can come corporeal. I wonder exactly how we'll describe the unequally beauty of my holy guardian angel when the time comes. I'm wondering this every day. The last entry, at midnight tonight. 18 months have elapsed in there entirely. Tomorrow I will begin the final stage before, if I'm successful this time, my holy guardian angel will appear. The next time I write here will confirm my success or my failure. I hope for the former.
All right, so we know the text and the lamp were bought by Lester.
What about that light that was in the first room that was broken in wax? I noticed as I was walking through.
Well, let's go have a look.
Right.
So we'll go through into
the ceiling lamp that you had mentioned.
Right. You go in and you look. There's a very ornate ceiling lamp that's hanging above the altar that they've been using for the ritual. It looks like that.
That looks ominous, gentlemen. Definitely looks Eastern in nature.
Well, do we go to the servants' quarters first, or do we go to the dining hall first?
They're in the dining hall, so let's go to the servants' quarters, deal with whatever we find there, and then we can finish at the thing. But should we take the lamp?
We probably should, since you got the book, right, Higgins?
Yeah,
I've got the book and I've got the wand.
It's a fairly large lamp. You'd have to actually get a ladder to undo it from the ceiling.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah,
all right, let's go to the servants' quarters.
All
right. All right. So you go down the stairs. You're going to have to go through the whole house to get to the servants' quarters. You can hear people laughing and carrying on. Rather, you can hear Lester laughing and carrying on with many copies of himself.
Yeah, I have an idea. I'm going to drape my arms over their shoulders and act like I'm still like groggy. And I'll tell them you're going to lie me down in the servants' quarters.
Well, if that's what anybody asks, let's just go.
Yeah.
All right. So, do a luck roll. Well, who has the worst luck?
I have 59.
We'll do a group luck roll.
I have 57.
I have 60.
All right. So, Milo, you do a group luck roll.
Okay, come on. No whammies. That is a pass.
Okay.
By one.
All right. So you managed to get by the dining room door and get past it without being noticed. However, what you notice inside is Lester is commenting on how delicious the food is, and you can smell something, and it doesn't smell good. It smells like rotting food. And I guess you can try to do a spot hidden if you glance in.
I don't even want to see what's going on at this time.
Yeah, I'm probably.
All right.
Yeah.
So you go right past.
Yeah.
You head into the kitchen, and when you get to the kitchen, Rosemary is standing there stirring the pot of stew, exactly the way she was before.
I just let her go.
Well, as you pass by, you suddenly hear a thud, and you realize that a rat has climbed out of the cooking pot and plopped onto the floor next to Rosemary's feet. Seems completely uninjured, and it quickly scurries along and goes into the pantry.
Too much information. I'm going to keep on going.
You get to the door going out into the little the cement floored room, and then from there you go over to the door going into the servants' quarters. They are not locked. You step inside, and you can see that the servants' quarters are very simple. It's basically one large room with what looks like a bathroom door on the back side. Give me a moment. It looks like what you'd expect. It's the way people would live if they were servants. Nothing fancy, except that you're guessing that Rosemary collects small little porcelain animals. She has a couple of shelves over by the fireplace with little animals on them. What do you do?
Is there a lion or an ox amongst them?
Okay. As you look, you do in fact notice that one of them is a lion statuette. Do you pick it up?
Yep.
Pick it up, you can tell immediately that it's lead. The symbol being that, which you've already worked out, is barrier.
Yeah. That's too many points to be bind.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bring it with us.
Yep.
If we can bring them all together.
All right. So you're going to head back down the hallway? Okay. The dining room is full of people. What are you
is the library before the dining room?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to jump into the library, and I'm going to drag the eagle,
the lectern. Okay.
Closer to the dining room as well, because off her note sound like if you brought them closer together, it would compile it. So I'm hoping that him damaging it hasn't done anything.
Yeah, and I'm grabbing the other one we did.
The bust.
Bust, yeah.
Okay. The bust probably weighs 150 pounds. So you'll have to kind of drag it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to drag it. Yeah.
All right. Do a strength roll on that.
Barely. I rolled a 44 out of 45, so okay. It's like...
So you're managing to drag it, and as you're dragging it, you can see that the pedestal is scratching into the hardwood floor.
I don't care.
Oh no.
Oh no. Considering everything I've seen here, I don't care. I'm real close to, going over the edge sanity wise. So I'm like,
All right.
Well,
So
let's touch up the symbols.
Yeah.
do you want to try to touch up the symbols?
Yeah, trying to fix
You
them up.
scratched
Yeah.
them pretty badly, and you've literally dug into the lead.
Yeah, whatever. We're gonna find out. What?
All right. So you start to move them towards the dining room, which you pull them out of the hallway. We'll say. All right. What next?
All right. How many doors are there?
that wasn't me.
Someone unleash the hounds.
I mean, I have a dog, but that wasn't mine.
You have the stairs. You have the door to outside. You have the stairs. You have the lounge. You have the library. You have the dining room and the restroom. You have the door going into the basement.
I want to check the basement first, but we should leave these positioned around the door in the dining room.
Should we destroy the lab? Because I'm happy to run up and destroy it if you think we should.
I'm not worried about that at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Let's position that. You want to check the basement?
Yes.
And then I think maybe we just try and we find any clothes or rugs or whatever, and then we go out the front door and just try to get back to the car.
After we bring all the items together in the dining room.
Yes, we're doing that first.
That being said, would you all like a 5-minute break to use the restroom?
Sure.
That would be wonderful.
5 minutes later.
So, Professor Higgins, you open the door to the basement, and there is a pull switch for the lights. When you do that, the lights come on in the basement, and you can see that it's big enough. It probably goes through most of the under part of the house. That's what you can see from up at the top of the stairs. You also notice that there are some stains on the stairs going down that look like they might be old dried blood.
As somebody's been pushed, perhaps?
Or dragged.
I'm going to make my way down.
Okay. As you go down, you can see that there's a lot of stored stuff here, a lot of furniture, a lot of pretty furniture. It might be furniture from the rooms upstairs that they all cleared out when they set that up there. But as you get to the bottom of the stairs and you look over against the far wall, right underneath a little window that goes outside, basement window, there are 2 bodies. And what you see is a woman's body and a man's body. The woman is sitting down, her back against the wall, right under the window. And sort of in front of her, in her arms, is a man. And both of them are bloody. Both of them, well, they're decaying. They've been rotting for quite some time. And you can tell that both of them have gouged their own eyes out.
Oh boy, servant type.
Like, and you're pretty sure that it's Jeremiah and Rosemary.
Oh, they came back a little too early from their 18-month vacation. Okay.
So we're literally the only living people here.
It seems like it. All right, let's go. Let's do the dining room.
All right. So you get up and you step into the dining room. And as you step in there, just as you step in, Wayland is raising his glass, and he says, I would like, I would like to make a toast to my daughter in her new attempt to create the Abramelin operation and meet her guardian angel and prove to us once and for all that God exists. And he raises his glass, and everybody raises their glass. And as they raise their glasses, there's a moment when it looks like they're all rotting corpses, and the table is filled with rotting food, and rats are all over it. And then all of the lights go out in the house, and it's dead silent. You're standing there in the dark. Do a sanity roll.
We're standing on the other side of the barrier we put in, right?
Okay.
Maybe like 20 is a success.
I just barely succeeded.
What are we rolling? Sorry.
Sanity.
Sanity.
Oh, no, that's a fail for me.
Okay, if you failed 1d4, otherwise just take 1 point.
One.
Worse and worse.
I'm indefinitely insane.
I'm real close. Just need to lose a few more points.
You suddenly notice that there is a spot of light behind you, and Jeremiah is standing there with a candle, and he says, "Oh, gentlemen, is there anything I can do for you? Anything that you need?"
Yeah, show us to the ox.
I'm
in
sorry.
the dining room.
Not sure what you're talking about, sir.
Take us to the
I have this lion. I'd like to be
Well,
shown to an ox, please.
we're experiencing a power outage at the moment. Let me light some candles. And as soon as he says those words, there's candles all over the dining room that light, and Wayland is there, and Veronica is there, but there are no Lesters anywhere.
Where's the compass points? Knowing where the places are, where would be the compass point in the dining room?
Well, it would be the far wall.
All right.
Do a spot hidden for me.
Yeah.
82 is not good enough.
16 is a hard success.
Okay. You look, and over on near the window on the table next to the on the far wall, you see a large metallic looking bowl.
All right. I will grab the
There's
bust.
the symbol.
bind.
And you already know it's bind.
And we will, I assume we're dragging all these symbols towards the other.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we did that. We did that before. Yeah.
As you're doing that, Wayland suddenly says, for some reason, I think I can remember what happened. And he looks over at Veronica and he says, I think I failed the Abramelin operation, and it killed me.
Mm-hmm.
And Veronica says, "That's right, Father. That's exactly what happened." And she says, and then I attempted it, but I succeeded. Only when I attempted to bring forth a demon, I seem to have resurrected Evangeline. And as soon as she says that, Evangeline steps into the room, black hair, rotting flesh, screeching, and she starts to run to attack Veronica. And rather than jump out of the way, Veronica sort of backs up, and Evangeline lands on her and starts once again tearing her Wayland doesn't seem to react. He looks over at you and he says, are we all dead? And
Yeah.
we're trapped here somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Jeremiah says, I think that we're dead too, but something is keeping us from getting away. We can't go to heaven or anything like that. Something is preventing us.
Well, I'll scratch out the remaining symbols.
The demon disappears, and he says, well, as he says, we need to drive the demon away. But did you say you go ahead and scratch out the other symbols? Which one do you have in your hand? Well, you don't have any of them in your hand.
Yeah, they're kind of
I think Milo has one, and Jeffrey has one.
Yeah, I had moved it closer to the bull.
Yeah, and I had the lion, and we were moving it, but
okay.
Yeah, and I've got the eagle.
All right,
like driving it out, we have to bring these things together or free it. I don't know.
I think that we're trapped here and we can't get away, and that's the thing that wants to keep us here.
What is he pointing at?
He's pointing at Evangeline.
Oh.
I think that's not Evangeline. I think that's the demon that accidentally got summoned. Instead.
Right, so you were trying to summon the angel, but you summoned the demon.
Well, Veronica, and she says, I don't remember. Somehow it's taken our memories.
What has the lamp got to do with the ritual?
The lamp is just a lamp.
Okay, well, we'll restore the symbols in the other two, or attempt to add symbols.
Well, that's creating a barrier. We can't leave, and you can't either. Have you tried to leave?
Yeah, you're right. That did not work out. Oh, screw it. I'm digging out the lion that I have.
What did her journal say exactly? It said if you bring them together, if you bring them all closer together, it would lock the demon.
Yeah, and we can't leave. The demon can't leave. They can't leave. It did its job.
Yeah, but we're not in the. If we point them all into each other and we bring them close together.
No, but they were all in the house. I'm not.
Yeah, but
you got to keep in mind these things are not literal.
Right.
Necessarily. So
yeah,
if it was locked in the house.
If the issue is if we let it out, we let that out.
Yeah, but we can't. I mean, do you want to die here?
We could drive the demon back, but we have to do a ritual to do it. There are symbols we can trap the demon in a circle and drive it away.
Yes, but we need to free them first.
Well, right? Do we? What is the ritual that we have to do?
We need a large flat surface where we can use.
Upstairs.
No, it needs to be something we can draw on the floor.
Like the sand?
No, like perhaps the cement floor. We can use chalk.
In the basement?
No, the servants' quarters.
The in-between room.
Oh, yes, yeah.
We can if this demon sees that, then the demon is trapped in the center of it and we can send it back to hell or wherever it came from.
All right. I'm willing to do that at least.
Yeah, let's try. Joseph, you're the only one that can read the German, so.
Yep.
Well, Wayland says, I know the ritual. I just need your help to draw the circle. Because once we start to draw the circle, the demon's going to try to stop us.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So I'll take a point and start drawing the symbol as soon as he describes it.
All right. Well, he says we have to move out there.
Yeah, we've got to go to the other room.
And we have to get chalk.
Well, I just so happen to have chalk, Wayland says.
So if we each have a piece of chalk, move ourselves out there.
So you guys move out there, and it's going to take you a few minutes because this is what he needs you to draw on the ground.
Holy.
He actually grabs a book from the library and opens it up and shows you.
Okay.
And it has to be oriented north, south, east, and west. All right. So you guys start drawing this out, and he shows you how to measure the distance between things and how to lay it out. As soon as he starts working on this, you suddenly hear a screaming coming from somewhere in the house, and the screaming's getting closer and closer and closer. You're pretty sure it's Evangeline, and she's heading in your guys' direction. There are pieces of furniture.
Yeah, can we barricade the doors?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Right. You grab some furniture and you start barricading the door. And no sooner do you get the barricade in place than you start to hear the door bang, bang, like this. And it's with such force you can see that the wood on the thing is starting to slowly splinter. And Veronica's like, you'll have to defend yourselves.
You guys keep drawing. I'm gonna grab.
Here, take this wand that's sharp from pointing. That I.
Okay, and I will have maybe it's like a table leg or something.
Yeah, I'll keep on drawing.
Yep, drawing time.
All right, there's more bashing at the door, and you guys are about half finished drawing. When all of a sudden the door splinters, and Evangeline throws the furniture aside that's there, and she starts moving towards you. What were you going to do, Milo?
I'm gonna poke at her with the like try and stab her with the wand.
Okay. Do a brawl roll.
A brawl? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I will spend the 6 luck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to pass with a regular pass.
Okay, she got a 73.
Okay.
So you hit her with this, and you can see that it actually goes into her. Yeah. And when it does, you've got the wand, you said. So
yeah,
you hit her with the wand. You can see that it almost starts to burst into flame a little bit, and she screams. Everybody do a Constitution roll when she screams, because there's a blast of fetid smell.
Ooh, 26 is a hard 24. Success. Exactly.
All right.
Pass.
All right. So you manage not to throw up. And she runs back out of the room. Just you can hear her screaming.
Might want to build up the barricade again. Oh, you're God, the smell. Oh,
you're about 3/4 done, and you hear the screeching again coming towards you guys, and Evangeline comes running back through the same door, and this time she's going straight at Milo.
Yeah.
To attack him. Go ahead. Roll.
Going at her with the spikiness again. Oh, 21. That is going to be that's a normal pass. But I'm just willing to spend luck.
She got a 61.
Okay.
So Evangeline's not doing very well this time. All right. So you jam it into maybe right here into her neck. And she struggles when you do it, and you see it sort of flames a little bit, and she screeches, and she actually falls to the ground this time, and she sort of scuttles away out into the darkness. All right, you guys have finished drawing it, and Wayland steps into the circle and triangle, and he begins chanting something in what sounds like Hebrew. And he makes a motion like this for you to hand him the wand.
Can I do a psychology roll on him?
Sure. Do a psychology roll on the ghost.
Yeah. Big fail. Yeah, I'm gonna. Right. I'll just.
What choice do we have?
He takes the wand, and you see him do this thing where he goes around the circle like that, and then he points at the center, and you hear Evangeline screaming in the other room, and Now, Evangeline is being pulled into the room, and you can see she's trying to grab a hold of things to keep her from being pulled in, but all of a sudden she leaps into the center of the circle, and you hear him say more stuff in Hebrew, and he points at the bottom of the circle, and she begins to turn black, and suddenly she starts smoking. Flames come up, and you hear her have this horrible death rattling sort of nasty sound, and then she seems to be sort of sucked into the floor. And Wayland says, "That's it. She's been driven back. She's back in hell where she belongs. But we're still stuck here. We're all still stuck here. We need to move on."
Right. So about carving up these lead statuettes.
Well, she's no longer here, so you don't need the trap any longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Freedom.
So you damage the stuff on the lion and the ox. And as soon as you do that, everything goes dark. And except for one candle flame. And you can see that Wayland and Veronica and the two Linwoods have vanished. You also see that the house around you is in horrible repair. It's been damaged for years. There's peeling paint, and the floorboards are damaged. And I'd like you to all do a listen roll.
91. I am listening to my own heart beating in my ears.
Extreme success, 06.
Fail, 61.
Dr. Winters, you hear an odd noise. A kind of a humming sound. High and oddly vibrating, and it seems to be coming from somewhere up above. And as you're listening, it's getting louder. And the other two of you start to hear this, and there seems to be something coming from up the stairs. And you get the feeling that it's both getting closer and that it's getting louder, and that it's eventually going to become deafeningly loud. What do you do?
To the car.
Yeah, to the car.
Scarpa. Closest door. Get
Or
out.
window. Just
All right.
out.
Don't want to know. Don't care.
You run back through the house and down towards the hall leading to the front door. And just as you are getting to the stairs, you can see this light shining from up the stairs down into the hallway as you're scrambling to open the door and get out. And the door opens. I would like you all to do power rolls to see if you look back.
God. Oh.
37, I pass.
Fail.
All right, 47, I pass. Whew.
Okay. So, Joseph and Jeffrey, you run outside. Now, the second you run outside, the yard is in disrepair. It looks literally like nobody's lived here for years. There is no snow. There is no wind. It's what you'd expect from a May night. There's stars out.
Sorry, I passed. I did pass.
Fuck you. No, you didn't.
Okay, fine.
All right. It's your
I
choice
didn't
if you
pass,
want to
yeah.
look back or not. I'll give you that.
I'll because for the sake of you do. I'll say I look back.
Okay. Makes it more fun. All right. So you run out and you run down the path, and you're heading back towards where your car was, and you're not looking back. Milo, as you get to the front door and you almost instinctively want to close the door behind you, you look back, and coming down the stairs is something completely unexpected. It is this being composed of light and color, and there are 6 enormous wings that look like they're made from fire going out to the side. And for a moment you feel like you're looking at a real angel, an angelic being. And this voice comes from it that sounds like distant thunder. No, it sounds like distant thunder and ocean waves crashing, and bizarre voluminous sorting sound. It's deeper than anything you've ever heard, and you can feel the impact of it on your soul. And it says, "Do you want to look upon the face of God?"
Nope.
Gonna run?
Yeah, I'm right behind.
All right. So you run outside in terror. And since none of you are looking back, you can hear the sound of, it sounds like you all hear that voice. And you can hear the sound of wood being destroyed. And there's this blinding light coming from behind you. And then it winks out, and you guys are running back to your car. You get to your car, and you're not out of gas.
Oh my God.
And the car starts up, and I don't think you want to go to the conference now. You guys are all probably going to head straight to the asylum. And that's the end of the story.
Oh my gosh.
But not only that, but doesn't Joseph all still have the book?
Okay, so here's an explanation. Wayland, first of all, the Book of Abramelin is a real book. The ritual of Abramelin is a real ritual, and people sometimes do this. Of course, in Call of Cthulhu, all that religious stuff is just nonsense. So in this case, it's still just nonsense. Wayland attempted it. He had a bad copy, a translation that said 7 months or 6 months. He attempted that. It failed. He couldn't believe that it was him that had the problem. It must be the problem with the text. So he began searching for a better copy, one far older and more original. And as he did this, he came to the attention of Lester Goodman, who was in fact an avatar of Nyarlathotep. So Nyarlathotep said, "Oh, well, this could be a lot of fun." So he sells Wayland an actual very good translation of the text, and gives him a lamp. And the lamp is a chaos lamp. And every time they light it and they say their prayers under it, it's absorbing magic points. And as soon as it reaches 1,200 and something magic points, it summons a servitor of Azathoth.
Oh my God.
So just as he was completing the ritual, it was enough points to summon this. He thought it was his guardian angel, and it asked him, "Do you want to see God, the face of God?" He said, "Yes, I do." And it said, "Okay." And it transformed him into pure energy, his soul, and it took him to the court of Azathoth. And now his soul rotates around Azathoth forever and ever. Back at home, it appeared that he had a heart attack. Okay, so Veronica was at college. Veronica hears that her father has passed, so she comes rushing home, and she begins her own little investigation and realizes that he attempted the Abramelin. She knew he was going to do it, but that something must have been wrong and that it caused her father to die. So the only one she could blame was this Lester Goodman, who had sold him the book and the thing, and she figured that he'd sold him the wrong translation. So she did her research. She then herself did the ritual, the correct ritual, and she summoned the thing back. But before she did that, she set a trap so that if the thing comes, she can imprison it so that it can't get away. And that's what the 4 cardinal points with the things were. She figured she could hold it prisoner, and even if it killed her, it would be stuck here. So what she did is she did that. When she brought it forth, she started interrogating it. She wouldn't believe that it just told her, yeah, I took him to see the face of God. And she didn't believe it. So she was basically trying to torture it. The creature got angry at her, and it started sucking out her memories. And when it did that, she realized that if it figured out how the trap was set, it could escape. So she killed herself before it could suck out the last memories. Now, as a result, its knowledge is kind of incomplete. Doesn't understand how light bulbs work and things like that. It's been trapped there for years, and it's been waiting for someone to come along that it can get in there and see if it can figure out what's got it stuck there. And that's what it did with you guys. Everything was an illusion. Even Wayland and the daughter, all of them, they were just illusions it was creating in order to trick you into figuring out how to let it go. And you did, and then you let it go. So it's it's gone. And Nyarlathotep was extremely amused by all this. So he showed up, wanted to see what was going on. And that was all just him having a blast, you know. That's so the end of the story.
Matthew Sanderson, once again, you absolute genius, my friend.
Brilliant story, yeah. All right. Our players included Oren Mayer, Zane Fleming, and Morgan Llewellyn, with myself as the keeper of the secrets. We usually play 4 times a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. Just so that you know, we don't monetize our shows. The only shows that have ads are because we occasionally use copyrighted music. The music owners get the cash, we don't. Our costs are almost entirely covered by our Patreons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. By pledging just a couple dollars a month, you are directly helping us defray costs and improve our show. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.